about to listen to the incomparable Win Twice Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Scott and Holly. We always go over, brother, and that's the bottom line. Dig it? So, sit back, relax, and prepare to be entertained.
WrestleMania 16 would be known more widely as WrestleMania 2000. The first showcase of the Immortals to take place in the new millennium sat in the midst of a juggernaut that was the Attitude Era. Headlining the event would be one half of the McMahon-Helmsley power couple in Triple H, looking to defend the WWF title against not one but three men. The Giant standing 7 foot tall in the Big Show, the man retired by the game in Mick Foley going into his last hurrah, and the People's Champion, The Rock. Tying into this convoluted web were the McMahon family, a member of which stood in each of the four corners, making them inextricable from the headline attraction. Elsewhere on the card, it was notable that there was not one singles match to be seen, assuming one was to overlook the cat fight between Terry Runnels and the Cat, that is. The reigning self-proclaimed Eurocontinental title holder Kurt Angle was placed in a triple threat match against Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho in a two falls match that would see both title belts up for grabs. Test and Albert would team up to take on Al Snow and Steve Blackman, who was in desperate search for a gimmick, and not even the WrestleMania debut of Trish Stratus could save us from Chester McCheesyton. Kane would take his WrestleMania tally to 3-0 against the legendary Pete Rose, and he would also settle the score with X-Pac in a tag team affair that featured Rikishi and Road Dogg. Perhaps the most anticipated match of the night would go to the tag team title bout that was scheduled to take place in a ladder match. The defending Dudley Boys would take on both the Hardys and Edge and Christian in a thrilling outing that would only be surpassed at the following Mania. 16 would also witness the debut of Eddie Guerrero, who was determined to have his Latino heat flood over China as the trio of the Radicals faced off against Too Cool and the Ninth Wonder of the World. WrestleMania 16 was not without its flaws, as the hardcore 15-minute Battle Royal went from the surreal to potentially the most confusing ending in all of WrestleMania history. Oh, did I mention there was a cat fight already? Not even Val Venus in a referee towel and an overly horned up octogenarian could save that encounter. WrestleMania 2000 was a success, and as the fire of the Attitude Era raged on, this would turn out to be the penultimate Mania before what is considered by many to be the peak of their early wrestling fandom. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Win Twice Wrestling Podcast alongside your hosts Scott and Holly. Morning, Holly.
Morning.
You good?
I'm actually good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm living the dream. It's a Saturday. I'm not working.
Yeah.
Went out, had a nice time last night.
Good.
You recently went to a wedding, which you enjoyed.
I did. Had a lovely time.
But all that was leading to the main event of episode number 48.
Oh.
I had to double check there last second because I nearly said 47 and now I'm not entirely convinced it is actually 48, but I'm going to say it now with enough conviction that it is just going to be 48.
Okay.
And we're back on a little well-trodden path that we haven't been to for a while, but it's been a theme for about, oh god, how long have we been doing this? So since, was it January I think we started doing these?
Yeah, I think it must have been.
Yeah, because I think it was after the new year we decided to jump on this, and we're back on the March Through The Manias.
Yeah.
And we're still very much in the meat and potatoes of the Attitude Era.
Ooh.
I think we're one away from the iconic Attitude Era WrestleMania.
All right.
And you look confused,
Not
but
a clue.
I know damn certain you've seen this next WrestleMania at least twice. Once, including in lockdown with me.
Oh, did we do it as one of our little, let's do this and talk?
Yes, we did, one of the watch-alongs. But yes,
okay.
We are at, well, actually, I say it's part of the same journey, but the last one we saw was WrestleMania 15, and now we've jumped ahead to WrestleMania 2000.
So confusing.
This is aging like Hercules.
These aren't helping my brain when they'd name them like this.
When you asked me, you dropped me a message and said, oh, which one's the next one again, just so I can make sure I've got the right one. And I said 16/2000. I thought, that's going to confuse her. No. And you didn't ask. And I was like, oh, yeah, you nailed it.
Thank you.
So having seen WrestleMania 15, where we had Rock and Stone Cold,
yeah,
I'm going to ask you the question that I always do. Were you expecting that we'd still be in your sweet spot of seeing people? And...
I did actually.
Yeah?
Yeah. I didn't have no expectation. I had a little expectation that I'd know people in this one.
And I think that's
more than just The Rock.
I'm trying... Again, great stitch back. I'm trying to think, just going through my mental archives on the show, who was on there that you wouldn't have known, and no one's springing out to me at all.
I don't think so.
I think maybe you could argue maybe in the Hardcore Battle Royal, which, by the way, thanks for wrestling.
No, there's definitely someone.
Okay.
I'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, okay, so that's Joey Abs then. But
maybe two people.
You haven't got him noted down. Excellent.
I don't know.
That's fantastic.
I don't know.
But yes, so WrestleMania 2000, the date was the 2nd of April 2000. Venue was the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim in Anaheim, California. I feel like that's something where you might have even been at some point in your life.
No, not yet.
No, okay,
not
fine.
Yet.
I've been to Anaheim, but I haven't been to that arena. So the attendance...
I'm not ticking off all of these, it's just a coincidence that I've done a few.
I thought you were just doing it to spite me, to be fair, when you went to the Mall of America. I was devastated. Just very jealous, to be honest. So the attendance was 19,776 and the buy rate was a very impressive 824,000.
Ooh.
I know. Pushing up towards that 1 million mark. And we got a tagline. We love the taglines. And this is very much Ron Seal. Other wood painting equipment are available. Branding is available. A McMahon in every corner.
Oh, is that a tagline?
That is the tagline.
That's what they kept saying it.
No, that was literally the tagline for the show.
Oops. Okay.
I know you try when when you're specifically watching something on the network, you try and avoid the blurb, but you can't not see the picture that you click on.
Yes.
To go into it.
Which, just FYI, really confused me.
And why did it confuse you?
Jericho's not in the main event.
No, he's not.
But he's on that
He is.
picture.
Yes.
Whatever. I wish he was in that event rather than show, I'll be honest.
Well, I don't know. Mate, yeah. But then it would have taken away from another match. But then again, I'd have just watched them go one-on-one, to be fair, in that other match. The one thing I would say from this show, and it is something that I've forgotten because it's been a long time since I'd watched this show back, was how many fucking multi-man matches there were on this show.
Oh yeah. My little brain really struggled.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head how many one-on-ones were there, and I don't want to include the cat fight, and I'm not going to include the cat fight, because that was, even if you were saying, oh, it was one-on-one, but was it?
No.
What else was one-on-one on that show? There wasn't. I don't think there was.
I'm doing a quick little scroll.
I'm trying to do it just off memory alone.
Yeah, I mean, we can't rely on my memory, can
I
we?
really don't think there was a single one-on-one match.
I think you're...
There wasn't.
Bang on.
That's mental.
Isn't it just?
And for note-taking, I'll be honest...
Oh, it hurts my brain.
Okay, so after the opening match, when we get to that Hardcore Battle Royal, I cried inside like a winner. I was...
So you're stealing my line.
Just because... I did steal your line on that one. That's not trademark, though. I was so saddened because at the best of times, hardcore matches are chaos. And they said, oh, don't worry, it's 13 people in it. Oh, no. So I had to pick a tactic for how I was going to write it down. I'll explain to you when we get there.
Okay.
And do you know what? For all these shows that we've done before, and I usually pick up an article here or there was nothing in there that led me to go to an article. So the Sportster's not getting a shout out other than this particular moment now.
Wow.
So maybe there'll be stories that I think of as we go through,
Okay.
but nothing went, oh, do you know what? That's interesting. I'll go
Yeah.
and grab some more information on that. So the show opening, Holly.
Yes.
No flashy intro as we start with a shot in the car park of the arena and hear the voice of good old JR as he welcomes us to WrestleMania. The cameras pan back to the arena and now we're taken to the live audience. Howard Finkel introduces WWF's very own Lillian Garcia to sing America the Beautiful. Her hair is exceptionally poofy, late 90s, early noughties, and her dress is a mishmash of sheer and solid black. Give the girl credit, she absolutely smashed it out of the park, and the crowd really enjoyed the rendition. I assume you're a fan of that.
Big fan. Big fan.
It's weird when it's the crossover between Howard Finkel and Lillian Garcia. I start to get a little bit sad, not because Lillian's bad.
But you're losing.
Oh, that is one of the voices.
Feeling I've had for all these people that you've given to me and taketh away.
Jesse. Gorilla? Are we putting Gorilla in there?
And?
Lord Al Hayes.
Of course.
Who you had for less than a show.
But he He don't.
I'll tell you what,
He touched
because
my heart.
we haven't picked the next show I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I know a show that was
Oh,
based in
gosh.
the UK, which he was on commentary for. I
Right.
can pick that out, and we can do that next if you like.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you look so excited. You'd love it. Now we get to the show opening package, as the presentation tells us it dates all the way back to the 31st of March 1985. As the Roman numerals continue to climb on the bottom left-hand corner, we're shown monochrome clips from the WrestleManias that have come before, featuring the likes of Shawn Michaels and The Rock, to name but two. Were you shaking your
I
head?
started to get very annoyed at this because
Why?
it was fine. Then it changes and goes into colour.
My next line. Now the video springs into colour and picks up pace as it discusses the multi-man main event, and as per usual, Holly is outraged.
I hate it.
What are you expecting though?
Surprise! I don't want to know everything that's coming.
They've got to build it up, haven't they?
People that are watching this at that time knew what they were chuffing watching.
Fair point. But maybe to put it in context, like maybe they had the grand idea that years down the line there'd be people that would be going, oh, I'll watch this wrestling malarkey and then randomly click on this and then get a bit of background on how it came to be. No, okay,
No,
fine.
I don't want that.
Fuck you,
don't
Vince.
want that.
Now the video springs in. Holly's outraged. Perhaps more importantly, though, there is indeed a McMahon in each corner. The package highlights the dysfunction of the McMahon family, thus blurring the lines further between what is storyline and what is reality.
Oh, I see what you've done there.
Come on now. The crowning achievement in sports entertainment is the phraseology used as the highlights conclude, and we see all four men in the main event tonight raise the title above their head in turn. An electric surge connects on a motherboard design background, and the WrestleMania logo appears through the sparks as though emerging from a fireworks display. Speaking of which, we head back into the arena where a flashy pyrotechnic display officially kicks us off. JR shouts out the attendants before introducing us to his partner behind the desk, Jerry the King Lawler. The cameras, however, do not show us this. Instead, we appear to have somewhat of an awkward cut to the ring, where the Godfather is surrounded by a harem of women, aka his hoes. Holly,
Hello.
it's time for the hoe train. Are you ready?
Right, this obviously has not aged particularly well, but I do remember fucking loving this as I was younger, and it's not obviously the girls that were there, but it's
What?
I used to love that. It is so good, so good.
Godfather asks if there are any pimps in the house as the crowd join in. Interesting look for the Godfather, who has his dreads hanging low and he's in a blindingly white pimp coat.
Yep.
After requesting that the fans roll up a spliff or two, he and D'Lo Brown, yes, that was him in the fedora,
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, I was shocked.
are ready for the opening contest. In case you also missed it, yes, Ice-T was there as well.
Stop.
Are you joking?
How did I miss that?
He was stood in the ring with them, talking.
I'll be honest, I was very confused why it wasn't just Godfather by himself.
At the end of the show as well, they did a highlight package which showed him rapping. I say rapping.
Maybe I was writing my notes.
Okay.
Also, I was very distracted by the fact that Godfather's outfit was an abomination.
It was horrendous.
And he was wearing cowboy boots.
I forgot about that, but I did spot that, yeah.
What? I
'Cause I was
love a
like-
cowboy boot, but what?
Yeah, what, pimping cowboy boots?
No, it's so weird.
Is that not how they do it in, like, Tennessee? Is that not the look?
Not quite.
Okay,
no.
fair enough. Wouldn't know. And the opening match of the night is The Godfather and D'Lo Brown versus the Big Boss Man and Bull Buchanan. Okay, right. I saw a little head nod there.
Right. Right, so the only thing I know about Bull Buchanan
B squared?
is...
Oh, no, you don't know about B
No,
squared? Oh, I'm so
all
excited.
I know is that his son is one of the, in quotation marks, the country guys that's in NXT.
Okay.
That's it.
Yep, so Bull Buchanan was in Right to Censor.
Oh, okay.
He was the guy who looked like Bull Buchanan, who was in Right to Censor, because he doesn't look too different, to be honest.
Oh.
And then he came out with a guy, you might have heard of him when he was early on in his career, John Cena. And he came out
Really?
as B squared, who was his running buddy, who was...
Stop.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
I'm not mad at it.
Well, why?
I'm not mad.
Why are you not mad at it?
He's not an ugly man.
Oh, he's a big beefy dude. I'll be honest, I don't
not
think he's
an
actually
ugly
got a
man.
handsome face, but he is very well
I
put
think-
together.
I think he's got a nice sticking face.
Yeah, I don't know if I can judge, if I can take that word, to be honest. I feel
Oh.
like, yeah, I'll give it, he's very good shape, and then
Yeah.
at one point they say 6'8", and then you're just a puddle.
Oh, shut
So, they do say that though on commentary. So to start off the evening, we have the Godfather and D'Lo Brown taking on the Big Boss Man and a very angry-looking Simon Miller. Oh, correction, sorry, that is Bull Buchanan.
Maybe this is where the issue is.
There it is. He doesn't look happy, just saying. You can fix him, I believe in you.
Oh, stop it.
JR suggests that Bossman and Bull have a unique relationship down there in Georgia, then just leaves that thread out there, which is strange to say the least. Quite fitting this match when you think about it actually, pimps against the popo. King says the law enforcers are not there for the hose, but I guess only time will tell on that one. What?
Just really tickled me.
What, the popo? That's what you mean, that's how I talk every day. We can... No.
Oh.
No, because I've messed a... Oh, no. JR says that this is set to be the most electrifying WrestleMania of all time, and all I'm now thinking is that Godfather's top looks like an oversized variation of what my missus wore to the last Christmas workouting.
Oh, shut up, it did.
Really did, didn't it?
It really did.
Really did.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not an insult to my missus,
No,
that's
it's
very
not.
much
She looks great.
Yeah, of course she did.
But not so much
Godfather. No. We can just make out that D'Lo is wearing his usual gear under a white velvet waistcoat and dress trousers, which is interesting in itself. Bull starts things off opposite him, and this is underway. D'Lo starts things off by ducking a swing and uploading a video, and he was done, and unloading with right hands. Whip is reversed, but D'Lo slides between the legs. Hello.
I do like that.
Yeah, of course you do. And looks for an O'Connor roll that gets blocked. Bull misses with a clothesline attempt and runs into a jumping back heel kick. D'Lo takes his time trying to pick Buchanan up, and that is because he is waiting to duck a Godfather clothesline as he connects with a big boss man with the big boss man who had entered the ring. Back elbow off a whip sends Buchanan down, and D'Lo reminds him, in case he had forgotten, that he sucks. Godfather gets the tag, and a double team whip sees D'Lo drop down, causing Bull to run over and into a body slam from the Godfather. The crowd wants puppies as D'Lo connects with a splash, and Godfather auditions for a role in Footloose the Musical before hitting a spinning leg drop. Do you see what I mean? Where he's like,
very good.
He's like that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh god, he's really warming up for this. The crowd back elbow off a whip puts Buchanan down, but Godfather misses the dumbest looking elbow, perhaps of all time.
Yeah.
He leaps in the air and just goes, ah, and comes down and hits the canvas. Not a good look. Bossman gets the tag and he works over the Godfather in the corner with punches. Corner whip attempt is countered and Bossman screams as he gets sent sternum first back into the starting buckle and dropped with a clothesline to the back of the head. Second clothesline from the front puts him back down. Whip off the ropes and a punch to the gut follows. Godfather grabs the wrist and puts Bossman back down with a side kick. Reminds me of Booker T doing that.
Okay.
The crowd are loudly chanting, Bossman sucks. Took me a while
Is that
to...
what they were chanting? I couldn't work it out.
No, I really struggled to hear that as well, to be fair.
I thought it was this match sucks.
Well, they might have a point. D'Lo gets the tag, but Bossman quickly gains the advantage during some strikes and screams as he runs D'Lo face first into the boot of Bull, who is now the legal man. D'Lo prevents himself going face first into the buckles, and instead it's Buchanan who goes for the ride. A nice set of Sesame Street punches in the corner, and the crowd gladly count along. D'Lo catches Bossman with a strike as he looks to interfere before whipping Bull into the opposite corner. Impressively though, Bull leaps to the top rope with a single bound and turns to level D'Lo with a clothesline. Both myself and the crowd were impressed with that one.
That was so good.
Yeah, do you make you think of
like
LA
him
Knight?
already. Exactly. Big guy. Just, very impressed.
It's like a little step for him, I guess, wasn't it? 6'8".
Well, yeah, maybe true.
No, to be fair, it was impressive. Big body slam from Bull, but D'Lo fires back and doesn't see Bossman make the blind tag. Drop toe hold by Bull sends D'Lo over the ropes, and both men... What?
Or they do the baseball slide out and do the slap thing.
That's it. Drop toe hold by Bull sets D'Lo over the ropes, and both men then hit the ropes, slide under the bottom to the floor, and plant big right hands on the former Nation member.
I liked that too, I'll be honest.
Yeah, that was alright.
It was nicely timed.
It was well done. Bossman makes the cover, but Godfather breaks it at 2. Headbutt by Bossman, and he connects with a big boot before tagging Buchanan back in. Kick to the midsection by Bossman, and a nice axe kick by Buchanan, floors Brown. The crowd have been audibly impressed by the big man twice now, which is surprising to say the least. 2 count. Bull sends D'Lo out of the ring, and after distracting the ref, Bossman picks D'Lo up and drops him across the barricade at ringside. In an unintentionally hilarious spot, Godfather tries to bypass the ref in the ring, but his batwing-like sparkly top catches him and the ref has to no-sell a clothesline as Godfather brawls with Buchanan in the corner.
It was so bad, it was good.
Yeah,
was awful.
and Godfather's just like, oh shit, I've caught him here, and the ref's just like getting whiplash on the way
so
through.
funny.
It's brilliant. Oh, here's another thing you like. Irake sends Godfather back to his corner and D'Lo is back in the ring.
Boring.
Flurry of strikes to the gut by Bull, and he whips Brown hard into the opposite corner, causing him to rebound off the canvas. Mark that as the third time the crowd have been impressed with Bull. Face first into the boot of Bossman goes D'Lo, and he's levelled by a double team back elbow, having to kick out of the following cover by Bossman at 2. As Godfather tries to intervene, Bull and Bossman briefly double team before the former claps his hands to sound like a tag was made. Time for Holly's favourite, as the dreaded bear hug is locked in. Holly, please can you do the honours?
So boring. He's asleep. Oh, shock.
D'Lo fires away with rights and breaks the hold, but runs it into a back elbow.
Although,
And
let me
Bossman
just
sat
make
back in.
a tiny little point. I thought that, like, D'Lo isn't a small guy,
No.
but when the fact that he's in this hug with Bull, I wrote that he looks like a little koala. Just like clutched on.
Brilliant.
You know, like koala clutches
Is it
onto
because he's
a
got like
branch.
puppy fat on his face and stuff?
No, I don't think it was. It was just the way he was like effectively holding on. I was like, oh, it's like a little koala.
D'Lo
Maybe I was a
Brown.
bit jealous. I don't know.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been like a koala though, I'm pretty sure. Double kick to the gut and a pair of double axe handles to the back, but puts Brown down. We are the man. More Bossman sucks chance as he cuts D'Lo off from reaching his corner. D'Lo fires back and ducks a clothesline before attempting a crossbody that Bossman catches and turns into a backbreaker. JR compares it to a fair catch in the I've done it again, the NXFL. JR compares it to a fair catch. It's because it's got in XFL, but it doesn't look right.
I'm so sorry. It's the fact that you've fudged it again. It's
Right,
just
okay, so let's
funny.
give a bit of context here. Okay, so both Holly and I thought we heard someone walking around in the house, so I went to go and check it because no one else is here. So I just went to the last thing that I paused during, and it happened to be that. So I got rid of it. It wasn't me thinking, oh, I don't like making a mistake, get rid of it. And then I said it again, even though I'm looking at it going, don't say it again. But it's because it says JR compares it to a fair catch in XFL. So I'm already saying that in XFL before flippantly commenting if such a thing exists, quite frankly. Pin attempt gets a near fall and Bossman argues with the ref. Bull is tagged back in and soars to connect with a double axe handle as Bossman restrains Brown. Backbreaker by Bull, who now heads to the top rope, but as he does, Godfather is furiously shaking the top rope that results in Buchanan crotching himself.
No, he's not. He's not. He barely even gets there. And Bull literally just goes, this is when this is meant to happen. I'm just going to wobble a bit and Dick Guillotine myself voluntarily.
Dick Guillotine. There you go. That's a wrestler's name right there.
I'll be honest. Every time this happens, to me, I write it down as a Dick Guillotine.
Dick Guillotine. Oh, God almighty. That sounds horrendous. D'Lo heads up top and connects with a Hurricane Runner, which leaves both men down on the canvas. Bull nearly prevents the tag, but D'Lo makes it, and Godfather unloads with right hands and sends Bull sailing on a back body drop before clotheslining Bossman, who has entered the ring. Godfather whips Bossman into Bull, knocking the big man out of the ropes, and it is Bossman's turn to eat some right hands. Bossman reverses a corner whip but misses the following charge, and the Ho train leaves the station as he collides with the correctional officer. Up top, D'Lo is shoved to the canvas, but he lands on his feet and knocks Bull off the apron with a right hand in return. Godfather heads outside and brawls with Buchanan as D'Lo hits a dropkick on Bossman that sees him bounce off the middle rope back to his feet. A second charge sees D'Lo run into a Bossman slam, and Buchanan is up top and connects with a super high leg drop, which is the fourth time he impressed the crowd on the evening. He hooks the leg, and that is enough for the 1, 2, 3. Big Bossman and Bull Buchanan win by pinfall. As the bell sounds, the victors stalk the hoes, who are just awful at feigning concern.
Yes.
Because one of them's just completely smiling, having a lovely time, and go, ah!
Yeah.
Oh, awful.
Yeah.
You can't get cheap hoes. They're not good actresses, is what we've learned here.
No.
What do you think of the match, Holly?
I thought it was all right,
Okay.
but I I feel like Godfather really just was not the one to be in this.
Okay.
Everyone else I felt like did an alright job, but to me, he missed several timings.
Was
for
it the
me.
Batwing clothesline thing with the ref?
Was so bad. so bad. But I was actually just really impressed with Bull Buchanan, I'll be honest.
Oh, okay.
The fact he's a big guy and he seems pretty fucking agile.
Yeah.
Which we know I like.
Spring
I
in
like
a
a bit
step.
of agility.
Okay.
Yeah.
No further questions,
In
Rana?
wrestling. Let's just...
And the bedroom. What's wrong with that?
No one needs to be jumping up anywhere.
What, just walks into the room, jumps onto the bed, like, boom, I'm ready. Like,
That'd be petrifying.
yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? So you're saying I shouldn't do that anymore, is what you're saying?
If that's what Em likes, then
I never said she likes it.
I gave it 2.25, and I feel like that's a bit generous. Maybe, but I enjoyed it.
So Dave, 0.25 stars. I would go no higher than 0.75.
I'm so fucking generous.
It was...
Hey, all you've got to do is look a bit menacing, bit of dress up,
Yeah.
fly off the top rope, I'm a happy girl.
Bit of cosplay.
Yeah, I'm a happy girl.
True story, though. I did actually, not in the throes of passion, shall we say,
Gosh.
but I did walk into the room and just, from a dead start, just jump, so I land on Ben, scare the shit out of Em. Very funny. Very, very funny. And then she was like, I'm actually more impressed now that the scared factor's died down. I was like,
fair.
okay, I'll take that. But, yeah, that didn't really feature in the WrestleMania, me doing that, so, but that's a little story for you. We now head backstage where we see the WWF Champion and the WWF Women's Champion sat on a leather couch. Triple H is talking about the diamond in his title belt and Stephanie counters with the big diamond in the ring she's wearing. Triple H says that set him back a little bit too, making Stephanie look like she legitimately laughed on that one. Triple H talks about the McMahon-Helmsley era and putting on the biggest WrestleMania in history and how great it is that they're both champions going into the event. It doesn't get any better than that. For the first time in the show, we now see JR and King, who are dressed to the nines. JR is surprised with how relaxed Triple H seems to be when the main event is a four-way elimination match with a no disqualification stipulation thrown in. King suggests that Triple H more than likely has a plan which explains his calmness. JR agrees and sends us to footage from earlier on Sunday Night Heat, where the referees held a conference to explain the rules of tonight's Hardcore Battle Royal. And I weep openly for my note-taking. As Crash Holly is standing on scales, measuring his weight, referee Tim White explains the rules to the participants who are arranged on a lengthy feast-like white table. Some are listening, but most are not. As the official says the titles can change hands any number of times, Crash is in his ear and Tim says that it also might not change hands at all, which pleases the current champion. Match number 2.
Yeah.
Deep breath for this one. So the match in question is the Hardcore Championship Battle Royal, 15-minute time limit, which they snuck in. The participants: Taz, Viscera, Joey Abs, Rodney, Pete Gas, Taka Michinoku, Funaki, Mosh, Thrasher, Farouk, Bradshaw. Holly, before we get into the I don't even know what to call it, to be honest, at this point. The chaos is probably quite apt. What were you thinking?
Low expectation.
Yeah.
Treslow.
Yeah.
And I knew something at some point in this would confuse / irritate me, and it did. And
Okay.
I will get there when we get there.
Okay, I'm trying to think what that is. The whole thing annoyed me, so...
I mean, yeah, it was also the Mean Street Posse. Whatever
Yes.
They are. What the fuck are they there?
They're Shane
Fucking
McMahon's
wank.
friends. Well, even Joey Abs.
So shit.
I thought like Joey Abs you might have been a fan of, to be honest.
No,
No?
none of them.
Well, obviously not the other two.
But no, not
Okay.
for me.
So you know which one I mean, though.
I do now, yeah, but no.
Bearded one. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, but no.
Okay, fair enough. So making his way to the ring first is Taz.
Tiny Pants Taz.
Tiny Pants Taz, a little
They're
nut,
so small.
little nut hugger, yeah.
So small.
And JR tells me that there are 13 men scheduled for this match, which makes me start crying all over again. Viscera is up next, and he looks scary as all kinds of hell.
Yep.
The Mean Street Posse, in their sleeveless cardigans, which would probably be more fitting on Tom, now head their way to the ring, and I was not prepared for this get-up.
It reminds me of Wallace from Wallace and Gromit.
That is fair, and that kind of answers my next question, because my next two words were thoughts, Holly, question mark.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because I knew you would have thoughts on
course.
it. Yep. Hardcore Holly, as a face, it sounds like, is the next to appear, and he may have an advantage having won the title at last year's event.
His I'm just giving it a bit of appreciation. His physique is fucking ridiculous. His
It's good.
traps are ginormous.
Didn't prevent him from getting his neck broken by Brock Lesnar, though, did it?
Well, true, but I'm just calling it out where it's due.
Yep. Shame he's got the personality of a fish.
An angry fish.
A very angry fish, an angry fish that would fuck you up.
Piranha.
Yeah. Yeah, or a bass, what they call I can't think of the name of the fish, I'm just not going to guess it. But there's a fish which has got like a big square head on it, which is what I'm thinking here. Taka Michinoku and Funaki are also involved, and I have my favourites at this stage.
Oh, really?
I had to go for someone. I was thinking I'll go with Taz, and then they came out, and I went, actually, no, I've got to go for Kai and Tai.
Oh.
They gleefully wave the Japanese flag and signal that they are indeed number one. A strong contender for outfits of the night as the headbangers meander down the aisle, both wearing fairy tit cones, which still leave me completely baffled.
These guys are just brilliant.
So were they your favourites then at this point?
No.
I know,
No.
they come out at the end. Now it is what I'm assuming is Holly's favourites for the
Yay.
match in the Acolytes. And no, Holly, they are still not the APA quite yet.
They are in my notes.
Okay. Finally, to round out this troop of ragtag misfits is the current hardcore champion who actually missed from the write-up initially, Crash Holly, who inexplicably is carrying the scales he was stood on earlier in the night to the ring with a backwards cap as always.
He just looks like he's having a lovely time. I like it.
Yeah. And yet I think in 3 years' time he'd be dead from this
That's
point.
so sad.
As soon as Crash slides into the ring, this one is underway, and I expect my notes will be hard-pressed to keep up with the action. My intention is to primarily focus on whoever the champ is at that given moment.
Mine is so shit because so much shit is going on. But I mean, I've got loads of notes, but it's fucking chaos. Fucking chaos.
So I literally had to go, right, whoever the champion is, whatever they're
Yeah.
doing, I'm going to be following. Whatever else is going on,
Okay.
I'm not going to be following.
Well, okay.
'Cause
I'll
it's too
try
much.
and follow on then, but I'm sure I've got notes about other things that are going on.
Well, probably, okay, insert smashes with this, insert smashes with that.
Just the same thing over and over
Yeah.
again.
Baking tray?
Oh, honestly, was there like a sale on at Target?
I think
for
so.
Baking trays.
Yeah,
It's
Walmart was getting
ridiculous.
discount sales. Here we go. Most of the competitors brawl around the ring, leaving Taz and Crash as the only two inside. Leg capture Tazplex sends Crash across the ring. Taz makes the cover, and we get a 1, 2, 3.
We don't even see it though, do we? I think doesn't the camera pans to someone else doing something shit with something,
I
and
think,
then we get the pit, the after bit.
yeah, I think you show him getting caught in it, and then the throw about to happen, and then it goes back and he's already landed. So I think you're right, actually. But we've got the first title change, and it's not even been 25 seconds.
Yay.
Did you think, oh, it's over? Was there a brief moment where you thought that was it?
Maybe.
Yeah, of course you did. Of course you did. Taz is now the target, and instead of playing it smart, he kicks Crash out of the ring and then goes right after Viscera.
Right. Yep. I'm going to hold
Okay.
my one comment for a bit later because it's more poignant.
Feel free to have more than just the one comment.
No,
Honestly, it's a
one's-
two-way street, this. No. Weapons are now in play, and we also see Vis scoop Taz up, run him back first into the ring post, and slam him to the mat with all his body weight on top.
I mean, take a drink for the ring post, but honestly, just drink through the whole of this.
Hook of the leg, and Viscera is now the champion, so everybody else is fucked.
Boo.
The multi-man brawl continues with all sorts of weapons being used, including a paddle, baking sheets, trash cans, a fan, and even a telephone.
Okay. I'm going to make my first point. And my note, I'm going to read it verbatim.
Please.
What it says. Hear me out here. Why is everyone fighting with each other? If Viscera is the champion, why is everybody not focusing their attention on that person to get the belt? Why are they all fucking around with each other?
Because stupid.
Thank you. Logically makes no sense.
No, stupid. It would also make for a really unentertaining match, just seeing one person get smashed until someone pins them.
I do get that, but there's two people. It's one of the headbangers and maybe Bradshaw, I can't remember, who just constantly are at each other the whole entire match. They don't do anything else. They don't even move from the corner of the outside of the ring. And I just watched it and I was like, what?
The Acolytes don't really factor
They
into
don't do
this at all.
anything.
There's one bit where Bradshaw starts going a bit
Yeah.
mad, and then that gets a reaction, but that's it.
But it was like that logically to me was like, well, just don't be there.
Yep.
Like, it makes no sense.
The Mean Street Posse start to team up on Viscera, but Farouk starts attacking them. If you recall, this is only a couple months after the Mean Street Posse attacked them at the Royal Rumble, which is in the show we covered. After the posse scuttle off, the Acolytes begin double-teaming the big man. We heard the crowd react loudly to Hardcore cracking his cousin earlier and can now see that Crash has been busted open on the top of his head. Just when you think every weapon has been used by now, Viscera literally uses a kitchen sink over the head of Pete Gas. The big man choke lifts Crash high into the air before tossing him down to the floor dismissively. Trash can to the head of Farouk, and Bradshaw is wasting everyone with a baking tray until Taz cracks him with one of his own. Other side of the ring, but still on the floor, Hardcore Holly knocks Viscera down with a trash can lid, but only gets a 2 count. Now Mosh hits him with a lid and goes for the cover, but also only gets a 2 count. We see Pete Gas is bleeding, and I feel comfortable enough saying that this is the most chaotic match we have ever been tasked with tracking to date in the podcast. Has anyone even come close?
No.
The only one that was, and it wasn't even that difficult really, was Big Show, Test and Rhino in a hardcore match that went round the arena.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's this one for me.
To me, I would just put this as shambles.
Yep, it is. Some of the participants have made it into the ring, Viscera being one of them, and he levels one person after the other with a baking sheet. Mosh jumps onto his back, but Viscera cracks him over his own head as well. For some ungodly reason, Viscera has climbed to the top rope, as Farouk hits a Dominator on Funaki and Bradshaw powerbombs the shit out of Taka. The Acolytes turn their attention to the big man and double-team press slam him to the canvas. Farouk has a 2x4 and waffles Viscera in the back with it twice until it breaks. Waffles. And Bradshaw connects with the top rope shoulder tackle that puts the big man down.
That's basically their segment.
Yep, done.
Isn't it?
Yep. For some unknown reason, Bradshaw and Farouk then throw Kai and Tai on top of Viscera for the cover, and although Mosh looks to join in, that's the 3.
Yeah, I
still don't understand that.
I don't get it.
Nope. Both men raise their hands, but Funaki is announced as the current holder, so Taka drops him with an elbow. Funaki now makes a run for it back up the aisle, with everyone chasing after him as the King makes silly little noises to highlight the comedy before us.
Stupid.
Backstage now, Funaki is sent crashing into a stack of guardrails by Rodney and Joey Abs, who now turn on each other as Abs is hit in the gut. Rodney makes the cover on Funaki for the 1, 2, 3. Rodney is celebrating his win, only to be immediately clotheslined by Joey Abs, who follows up with a gut-wrench suplex, hook of the leg, and we have another 1, 2, 3. As Joey gets to his feet, he's rammed with a tray cart courtesy of the Headbangers,
Yay.
and Thrasher sends him running face first into the corrugated shutter. Clothesline hits right after, and the 1, 2, 3 follows. Mosh now hits Thrasher with a lead pipe to the gut as the action continues. Thrasher is then twatted by pretty much every man in this match as he staggers his way back to the entrance.
Yep.
In the aisleway once more, a very bloody Pete Gas uses a fire extinguisher to blind Thrasher before crowning him over the head with it and makes the cover for the count of 3.
He's bleeding a lot.
He's
bleeding
too. I can only assume he's bleeding. Well, to be fair, it's probably better than his wrestling. I think that's probably when Viscera smacks him over the head with a kitchen sink. And that's the only thing I saw in terms of him getting twatted.
Yeah.
And I cannot stress enough, I don't care what actually caused him to... Well,
it's
blade
just a
job.
lot of blood.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood. Taz grabs Pete by the bloody hair and marches him down to the ring, where he drives him face first off the ring post.
Honestly, the biggest drink.
Viscera got a cheeky baking tray shot on the way, I noted as well, which I thought was good. Taz connects with the Tazplex variant and covers Pete, but is kicked in the head by Hardcore. He does, however, stay in the cover, and the ref counts 3, and Taz is the champion once more. Holly is back on Taz, which I realised threw me off massively. Holly is back on Taz and runs him face first into the steel stairs. He makes the cover but only gets a 2 count. Taz begins fighting back, but Hardcore puts him back on the floor and then stands on his throat. From behind, Holly is waffled with a baking sheet and falls in an ugly angle against the barricade. Mosh tries to get a pin on Taz, but he kicks out and then, in a confusing twist, rolls him up for a pin that the ref counts to 1 on.
Yeah,
why?
I don't understand this, and this isn't the only time this happens.
No, it isn't.
So someone say to him, "The fuck are you doing?"
Okay, right, I would know. I think they did it to save his blushes, so we'll carry on.
Okay.
After another baking sheet shot, Mosh covers again, but there's a kick out at 2. The action spills into the ring, where the Holly cousins start working over Taz, until he springs to life with a single leg takedown on Crash and unloads with right hands. Hardcore stomps away on Taz until Crash joins in, but the smaller cousin has other ideas as he cracks Hardcore with a trash can lid. ECW chants at this point.
Oh, okay.
Taz now waffles Crash and covers him, and JR says he must be confused having had his bell rung as he doesn't need to cover anybody. My bigger concern is what is the referee's fucking excuse here?
Yeah. Why is he counting?
Yeah, I'd go very nice.
Yeah, you just stand there, wouldn't you?
But because
Like,
probably because he thought, I'm going to look like I'm mugging him off if I don't count this.
Well, you should mug him off.
Yeah, mug him off.
Stupid.
Idiots. Agreed. Here we go. Hardcore hits Taz with a broken 2x4 from earlier and boots Taz to the canvas. Crash looks to sneak a pin, but Hardcore prevents that. Hardcore begins choking Crash over the bottom rope with his boot until Taz levels him from behind. Beautiful head and arm Tazplex sends Crash flying, but Taz himself is hit with a power slam after hitting the ropes from Hardcore. Crash prevents the 3 count and then tries to get it himself until Taz kicks out. Second cover attempt by Crash is countered into a pin from Taz, and again the referee fucking counts.
Yeah.
Hardcore tosses Crash to the outside, allowing Hardcore to connect with a picture-perfect dropkick on Taz for 2. Suplex to Hardcore sends him rolling to the outside, and Taz is the only man left in the ring.
This made me happy because I realised the time I said 1 minute left. I was like, oh, thank God.
Crash sneaks in behind and hits him with a few baking tray shots to the head, makes the cover, and the 3 is counted despite Taz attempting to kick out.
Mm-hmm.
So you spotted that as well?
Yes.
Okay. 30 seconds left, and as... Oh, it gets worse. It gets worse, people.
It does. It does.
30 seconds left, and as Crash has his arm raised, Taz locks in the Taz mission, which is good, and Crash is struggling until Hardcore waffles both men with some sort of glass object. I later learnt out that this was a little glass jar of Snickers that was on the commentary table next to JR.
Oh, which is why they made reference to it later.
They
but I
did.
didn't realise what it actually was.
And it, when I say it shatters, it shatters. Crash, and then Hardcore then covers Crash with 4 seconds to go, and the ref counts to 2 and stops.
Yeah.
Commentary are saying Crash kicked out, but Hardcore has his hands in the air, and I'm completely stumped as to what I've just seen.
Yeah.
Howard Finkel sounds confused as he hesitates and announces Hardcore Holly is the winner, but it sounds more like a question.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you what on earth was meant to happen there.
Meanwhile, Crash is walking backstage with the title until Tim White takes it off him and hands it to Hardcore Holly back in the ring to celebrate.
Yeah.
This is the biggest clusterfuck I've ever witnessed.
Yeah.
We see a replay which just makes it all that much worse. I imagine Tim thought Crash was supposed to kick out and just stopped counting. As Hardcore goes to leave the ring, a jagged edge of the title gets caught on the ring apron and drags him back. What have we just seen?
I just don't understand.
Holly, what's your star rating for that?
1.
Do you know what? I give it a 1 as well, just because it was stupid, but I don't know. There was something ASMR-like about just hearing people get hit with baking tray shots.
The bacon tray.
Yeah, I imagine like people, you could probably fall asleep to that. Bit of rain noise, bit of baking tray shots to the head.
You know what I'm like. But it's one of those matches I watch it. I got to the end and I was like, well, there is 15 minutes of my life that I'm never going to get back.
Yes.
Because it made no sense at the end either. At least have a clear-cut winner, which apparently was clearly meant to be Hardcore.
Yeah,
Holly.
well, was it?
But don't show us the replay as well if it makes no sense.
Because then it doubled down on the confusion.
Know.
So Big Dave scored it at 0.5 stars. Having said what I did earlier about not looking up any stories, you'd think that this... I think I was just so relieved when it was finished, which is why I didn't then look up it in any great detail. But that has to have been a messed up finish. But I think you've got actually something there, haven't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just off Reddit, so we're not taking it for gospel.
Oh, fair enough.
But it says... So one person's put... I mean, this was 6 years ago that these people are writing this. Holly admitted it was botched in a shoot interview later on. He expected to be yelled at when he made it to the back. Instead, they just did the title change the next night to get things back in order. And then someone else has put on here, Crash then covered it in a shoot before his death as well, saying that the clock and the buzzer were missynchronized, so it then threw off the ref, who miscounted the 3 when he wasn't supposed to.
He didn't, to be fair to Tim White, anyway, he didn't count the 3. My point is there... I guess Crash wouldn't have known, would he? So if you know that it's not synced up, just get your shoulder up or something, kick out. But he didn't kick out. Hardcore Holly did what he was supposed to do, and Tim White technically didn't do what he was supposed to do. So it's just a multitude of little segments that kind of work together to manifest into this mess up. Because From my memory, and I don't know why, in my head, Crash left as the champion. So when Hardcore was the one holding the title, I was really confused, but I must have been thinking that I knew Crash got it back right afterwards. Fortunately, with it being the Hardcore title, let's be fair, it's meaningless, isn't it? Yeah. So it's like the 24, it changes all the time. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter. If it was a WWF title match, one, Crash Holly and Hardcore Holly would not have been fucking in that match, nor would literally anybody else in that, apart from Bradshaw at a later date. It was so weird. It was so weird.
It was bizarre, but for me, it works in my little W.
So it's slightly improved. No. So
it's lower. This was a lower score than my first match.
Of course it was. Yeah.
For me, yeah.
I think this was slightly better than the first match, but not by a great deal. So I think I went 0.75 to 1.
Yeah.
We'll see if that trend continues. It doesn't. Speaking of one type of bizarre to another, following the conclusion of the Hardcore Battle Royal, JR sends us to footage from WrestleMania Access, and we hear from the likes of Val Venus and Chyna. Chyna couldn't sound like she's phoning it in anymore if she tried. Chris Jericho cuts an in-character promo, and we hear from Terry Runnels, who incredibly is more engaging than Chyna. Mm-hmm. Like, she sounds like you're talking to a person, and I believe what she's saying, which I didn't think she had in her locker, so fair fucks to Terry Runnels. Big Show shares a few words, including, "I'm so excited, I might pee my pants." Main eventer. Trish tells us there's a lot of TNA at Access.
Oh yeah, just from her.
And we see... Hey, come on now. And we see who she's surrounded by as the camera zooms out. Test and Albert. Even Shawn Michaels makes an appearance, and we hear a fan ask that Vince bring him back. Now to my favourite part, and what always excited me as a kid. No, not Jonathan Coachman. Michael Cole discusses how fans can do commentary on one of 5 matches and then get to take the tape home with them. Awesome. Mm-hmm. I told you what I used to do, didn't I? Yeah, sad times. We won't pick at that old thread. Well, short version is I used to put the show on mute and then pretend I was doing commentary for it, and that was pretty much it. So to be able to do that with even like a Michael Cole at that time, that's awesome. I'd love that. Some derpy fan then looks like a young red-headed Joey Crack, says how fun it was, and now I've disengaged with this particular part of the promo package. You know who I mean? Joey Crack, yeah. Fat Joe, okay, good. Taz, the Dudleys, The Rock and Stone Cold were all there as well.
The Rock can take those fucking glasses off. Oh,
I will give them this. The turnout looked very impressive.
Those tinted blue glasses.
Why?
Absolute ick. No.
Okay.
The fact he's wearing them inside is ridiculous. Okay. But also,
we'll ignore the fact that Tess wears sunglasses as well. Not in this particular bit, but it's fine. We see one more replay of the controversial ending to the Hardcore Battle Royal, and I wish they would let that one die. From one stream of nonsense to another, we see Al Snow talking into a toilet cubicle, saying that he knows it smells, but if they want to be part of the greatest WrestleMania entrance in history, they will have to shut up. Okay. Steve Blackman appears behind him and asks him what he's doing.
Yay.
Oh, you like Steve Blackman?
I remember him from back in there.
I bet you do. Al Snow says it's just faulty plumbing. There's nothing going on. Before leaving, Steve warns Al, not tonight. And Snow says, of course not. When Blackman leaves, Al opens the cubicle and says, knock it off and to light a match. Get it? We now see the largest TNA in the WWF as Test and Albert walk their way backstage. Trish is there as well. Didn't spot her at first.
Massive knockers that are just on the screen. I know you did.
What do you mean I did? That was all that was on the screen.
Yeah, I know.
It was outrageous.
Huge.
I just feel so sorry for her little back. King has a conniption as he sees Trish, and even JR says, well, hello there.
Mm-hmm. And to be fair, she does look stunning.
No comment. Okay. Steve Blackman and Al Snow with Head versus Test and Albert with Trish Stratus.
You're so funny.
What?
Oh dear.
As Al Snow and Steve Blackman make their way to the ring, we see the wonderful fan sign that reads Head Cheese.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Why?
Well, because Al Snow has head,
yeah,
and Steve Blackman was given a wedge of cheese to wear as a hat once.
Oh, it's the cheese hat.
Yep.
I see.
Head cheese.
It's just...
Sounds like Dick Fungus to me. I mean, that would have been a worse name. I'll give them that. So, in fact, Al grabs a sign that says the same thing, takes it into the ring and displays it in there. Apparently, Snow is trying to find Steve Blackman the perfect gimmick because he's incredibly fucking boring. Al has grabbed the microphone and says as WrestleMania is a special day, he has a surprise for Steve. He reminds him of the pygmy from last week who was clapping head cheese with his arse, and yes, that is what he said. Welcome, Chester McCheeserton. A Latino little person in a block of cheese costume runs down the aisle to circus music, and I could be wrong, but this has Holly wishing it was Doink the Clown instead.
No, never.
Not even over this?
No.
No, you're wrong.
No.
You are wrong,
Doink
that's
and
fine.
fuck off. No.
We can see the suit has the arse cheeks cut out of it, so he can smack his cheeks as the crowd chant, "Let's go head cheese," as orchestrated by Al Snow.
Quite funny.
No, Holly. No, Holly.
It was quite funny to me in a sense that if that was me, I'd be livid. So they played the parts very well.
As in, you would be, Steve Blackman, you'd be livid?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, fine.
My only note in this whole entire segment is Steve Blackman has impeccable tits.
Okay.
His pecs are ridiculous.
Who had better tits, him or Trish?
Well, he didn't have to pay for his, probably, to have them inserted.
Fair point.
I mean, I'd rather have Trish's if I had the choice, obviously. But I'm just, again, calling out some respect where it's due.
Well, I think you've gone back on the idea of having
I don't feel like we need to
massive
discuss
bazongas. Preferences.
my preferences to tit size.
Well, no, you brought
myself.
it up, but I was saying at one point you were like, would
I'd
consider
still like
it.
fake ones, absolutely.
Oh, okay,
Just
so maybe
not ginormous knockers.
what's this? Okay, I don't know.
I feel like this is not a now conversation.
Why? Okay, it was kind of on topic, to be fair, but fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
So where are we in this madness? JR doesn't think that this is getting over with Steve Blackman. But I said Blackman again, Blackman. What is it about that? It's Bossman as well.
Mm-hmm.
Bossman. I can't...
It's like a double-barrelled
Yeah,
surname.
it really is. I keep fucking up. Although I don't think I actually fucked up the Bossman once. No. But straight away on Steve. Thankfully, this horse shit is interrupted by Tess and Albert, led to the ring by Trish Stratus. It is rare that both you and I are pleased with the participants in a match for the same reason, isn't it?
It is, and I have made a comment here about Test shouldn't have sunglasses on.
Okay.
But then he rips his t-shirt off and I'm...
All is forgiven. Yeah. I was wishing that he was going to take his sunglasses off and then someone else was going to rip their t-shirt off, but it wasn't time for that just yet. I could see that in the next year, and then they'd be barking like a dog, and it was sad times. The bell sounds and Tess begins mauling Steve Blackman in the corner. Blackman slides between the legs off a whip as the audio and commentary begins to crackle. Kick is caught by Tess and he ducks the enziguri attempt that follows. Blackman ducks a clothesline attempt and connects with a thrust kick that drops the Canadian. King keeps saying okay on commentary as they try to correct the audio mishap. Al Snow gets the tag and they stretch the groin of Tess with a double team leg snap. Turns out it's JR's headset on the fritz, so we've all lost out there. And King says it's okay, he can call it himself, which has me very worried with Trish being out there and nobody to rein him in.
And he doesn't really even try, does he?
He doesn't. Snow unloads with right hands as King invites Trish to sit with him, which she is ignoring, and we see Tess connect with a clothesline that levels Al Snow. JR is momentarily back, and King offers him his headset before realising that he can't have it. In the ring, double team whip sends Snow into the corner and Albert follows up with a splash before Tess connects with a big boot. Cover by Albert is broken up at 2 by Steve. Snow is now firing away with right hands on Albert and slides to prevent himself from being whipped into the buckles before dropping the future hip hop hippo with a clothesline. Albert asks him if that is all he has got before eating an enziguri that knocks him onto his face. Are you okay?
I love that.
Cover is broken up by Test at 2. Snow makes the tag and Blackman, I did it again, connects with a pair of rights to the ribs. Whip is countered, but impressively, Blackman, I'm really overthinking it now, knocks Albert off his feet with a shoulder tackle.
I just called him Steve.
Because it just sounds like the
Steve.
neighbour. Yeah, you're right, Steve.
Steve.
Albert asks, well, no, I've absolutely lost it. Second whip reversal sees a reversal of fortunes for the two men, and Albert now charges into a drop kick to the knee that lands him on his face. Blackman drags Albert to the ropes, and Snow leaps over to connect with a leg drop to the back of the head, but is himself dropped by a Test big boot. Blackman makes the cover, but Test is already there and he gets up to throw strikes at the big man instead. Test charges at Snow, who ducks and backdrops him over the top to the floor. Now it's Snow's turn to charge, and he runs right into a military press from Albert, but Blackman chops the knee, causing Snow to fall on top for the cover. Drop kick to Test from Snow sent him off the apron, and the double team of Albert continues with a pair of clotheslines. 2 count. Impressive suplex by Snow, who now stomps away on Albert, and he knocks Test off the apron with a forearm for good measure. Double team back elbow puts Albert down, and Blackman connects with a second rope diving headbutt and gets a near fall.
I hate that.
The diving headbutt. Cheesy Queef, or whatever his name was, begins chasing after Trish outside briefly before walking away. Back in the... Well, okay, without looking, what's his name? Tell me his name.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Know.
It was Chester McCheesyton, I think, but I just went with that. So yeah, Cheesy Queef. Back in the ring, Blackman clearly delivers a low blow by falling with a headbutt, but it's called fair. Snow with the tag, and he connects with a forearm to the back from the top rope. Albert fights back and suplexes Snow across the ring, allowing both men to make the tag. The crowd are completely asleep in this one, and it really, really makes the match suffer.
It really does.
Because the match
so quiet.
isn't awful,
No, it's not.
but because the crowd is so dead,
Yep.
I don't care.
Yep.
And it's I reflect that in the score as well, I think, when we get there. Test connects with clotheslines to both men and a big boot to Blackman. Impressive sidewalk slam connects on Snow. Gets a near fall. Albert tosses Blackman to the outside, and TNA hits an elevated powerbomb to Snow, which looks great, but is lessened somewhat by Al adjusting his jocks as his legs remain in the air. Cover is stopped by Blackman, and he hits a drop kick that sends Albert into the ropes and to the floor. As Blackman fires away with right hands on Test, Al Snow hits an acai moonsault to the outside and levels Albert. Very impressive.
Yeah, nice.
With Test over the knee of Blackman, Snow connects with the top rope leg drop, but Albert prevents the 3. Baldo bomb to Snow, and he gets clothesline to the floor. Big body slam on Blackman, and Test finds himself pressed in the air to land with a splash.
I quite like that.
Yeah. Before he can make the pin, Snow pulls him under the ropes to the floor. Albert is dropped with a thrust kick after taking a headbutt, and JR's audio is crackling again. We can also just about see Trish pushing.
Oh dear, that's a Freudian, isn't it?
Pushing Cheesy Queef away with her boot, which sounds absolutely fucking atrocious. Blackman tells him off as Test launches Snow into the timekeeper's area. Press slam by Albert sees Test follow up with a top rope elbow drop, hook of the leg, and we get the 1, 2, 3. JR says, 2 teams that really didn't get on track here. Read that as the crowd couldn't have given it a single shit about this one.
Yeah.
As TNA celebrate back up the aisle, Al Snow grabs the microphone and apologises. He thought Cheesy would be great. He says it was a stupid idea and beckons the cheese forward. What am I reading? He scoops him up and places him in the ring, so ungainly, where he ungainly makes his way to his feet. Snow says it's time to cut the cheese and drills him in the top of the head with the microphone that he was holding before Steve Blackman hits a charging pump kick. As the music plays, Al Snow hits a top rope leg drop to the cheese as Blackman has him over his knee. What? Thoughts?
I would like to know who in creative thought this was a good idea.
I couldn't answer that.
I get there's a little comedy value in there, fine.
Is there?
But they've lost, a little being precise, but like, no, just like little impact.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
like,
TNA wasn't there.
But I just don't understand it. Test and Albert
TNA was there,
have
sorry.
won, have won, but they have to leave for this stupid little thing, which annoyed me.
Your choice of wording is
I
great.
don't even care at this point. But like, it's so dumb, and
Yeah.
it doesn't make either of them look good either.
No. Like, I come away thinking, are they dicks now? What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't really understand it. And I really like Al Snow, and I really like Steve Blackman. But this made me not like them a little bit.
Again, weirdly, like if I look at the content of the match, probably it was the best one out of the 3 so far. But to me, it's my worst rated match so far because the crowd were dead, and the stuff that went around it with Chester McCheesy knickers and whatever that was just no good. It wasn't amusing. Even as a kid, I wouldn't have found that funny.
No. No.
So I don't know who that's appealing to.
Yeah, I don't really understand.
Other
either.
than the person that created it. So what?
Yeah, I just put the crowd as dead. Didn't really understand the ending. I did give it 1.75 purely for the content of the match. Take away and I say comedic in quotation marks. Take away that, the content is great. Compared to what we've seen already, fine. But the crowd is dead. There's no atmosphere. Even though it's Test, I don't seem to care. So 1.75.
His hair's not wet.
I know.
For me, I give it half a star.
Okay.
And I acknowledge that the in-ring content of the match was the best so far, but I cannot divorce that from everything else that was involved, like the crowd being dead, the crap outside the ring.
Mm-hmm.
After, I didn't care, and it really kind of tarnished it for me, so I can't go for that. And we get a famous one from Dave as well, minus 1.25 stars.
Just give it another.
Later on, I will do that for you, do not worry. Speaking of which, the cameras now take us backstage where we see Mae Young ask the Cat if she's ready. Cat is sat with her back to the camera and appears to be completely naked, but has a bag well placed covering her backside. King's pacemaker goes off, causing him to make a loud noise at this moment, which, if I'm right, is a "Ah!" Cat asks Mae to grab her phone as it goes off, and she does. Unsurprisingly, the call was for Cat. Can't believe that.
Shock, someone called her phone.
Yeah, Mae goes, "Oh, it's for you." Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, Mae. Okay. Unsurprisingly, the call was for Cat, who turns around and Mae's arm is blocking the view of her breasts. Until she turns around, that is, and the blur has to get involved as King makes another noise, which, again, I will quote as, "Ah!" Mm-hmm. Mae suggests a shirt with a cat on the front, and it's now covering the cat's meow. She says, "Oh, I just love this fuzzy thing," and starts furiously stroking it with 2 fingers from side to side. I'll be honest, Holly, I think they knew what they were doing here.
Do you think?
Yes, I do. I can confirm I think that is what they were doing here. I'll be honest, not a flicker for me. No, it was awkward. I didn't find it...
A bit too much.
Yeah, it was partially a bit funny, and then I was just like, oh.
It went on too long for me to find it funny.
Had they not done the cat t-shirt bit, I think I'd have been fine with it. Yeah. But it's just like, okay, it's really on the nose now, and it's not as funny to me. And that's not being, oh, I'm so woke. It just wasn't funny. Also,
King getting overexcited about this.
His
Wouldn't
wife.
he have been used to this by now?
Yeah, but I guess they weren't making comment of it.
They're still together at this point?
Yeah. Yeah, he leaves the company later this year because she gets fired.
At first, I didn't recognise it was her because I've only seen her with dark hair.
Yes, fair enough. Cat now asks for water, and Mae hands her to... Okay, so actually, if you just take the cat t-shirt out bit, I'm fine with the rest of it, because this was stupid as well. Cat now asks for water, and Mae hands her 2 bottles, which the cat grabs, covering her nipples, and says, "They're perfect." Mm-hmm. That was well done. Backstage, we see Michael Cole stood with the Dudley Boys, but before we can complete a question, he's cut off by Devon.
Of course.
Devon claims the WWF are always trying to put them down, and now they've been placed in a ladder match. Devon mentions that he is scared of heights, but he will put all that behind him, and the Dudley Boys will remain tag team champions. Bubba Ray says that tonight the Dudley Boys will take WrestleMania to a whole new level, and they will also elevate the levels of violence in a ladder match. When the dust settles and they leave with the tag team titles, the Hardys and Edge and Christian will realise that thou shall not with the Dudleys. Oh, my brother, testify. Good promo.
I was so happy now. This changed my mood completely. I was like, here we go. Here we go.
Imagine they went, breaking news, this is going to be a 4-team match. Out comes Head Cheese again. So we're into what I would say is a decent portion of the show.
Yep.
Edge and Christian versus the Hardys versus the Dudley Boys in a triangle ladder match for the WWF Tag Team titles.
Such a happy girl.
What were you thinking here? Because I don't know if you've seen this one before.
Having obviously seen it now, I've seen snippets.
And I think I know which bits you're talking about.
From like the bottom of like the camera angle at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that, but I've never seen this whole thing. Very happy girl.
Good. Edge and Christian make their way through the crowd, and I notice Edge is wearing a cowboy hat, which probably will have pleased Holly, but annoyed me. In addition, he's also wearing sunglasses as he made his way to the ring in the dark.
So angry.
So cool.
I fucking loved it.
So cool. He came out in the dark in sunglasses and a cowboy hat.
I know, it is so stupid. But cowboy hat, I don't care about. That's great. It's fine. Keep that.
Yeah.
Keep that.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
His hair is, his and Christian's hair, though, is
Dry.
still far too dry.
Bone dry.
Yeah.
Other hair in this match is not, though. We're shown footage of the Hardys jumping Edge and Christian from Sunday Night Heat, which was a small preview to what we'll see here. Next up, here comes Holly's pick in every match, always the Hardys.
And this, Jeff right here, this is the one.
Yep.
100% this is the one.
Giving zero shits about superstition, Jeff ducks under every ladder on his way to the ring. It explains a lot. Finally, the defending champions head towards the ring and we get the iconic camera shot from underneath as the Dudleys pose atop the ladder in the aisleway. That's a famous shot that they've used a lot over the years as well. Wasting little time, however, back in the ring, Edge and Christian have jumped the Hardys from behind. The Canadian duo then exit the ring and attack the Dudleys, who have now descended the ladder. All 6 men are brawling in the aisle before Christian and Matt Hardy re-enter the ring. Christian connects with the drop kick off a whip, causing Matt to roll to the floor. Christian looks to follow and Matt drags him under the bottom rope to the floor. Devon and Edge now enter the ring, where Devon misses with a clothesline attempt and gets caught with a spinning back heel kick. Bubba and Jeff's turn in the ring now, and to the pleasure of both Holly and one very vocal female fan in the crowd, Bubba tears Jeff's top away before connecting with some meaty slaps.
I think that might have been my scream from home. That
Oh,
you might
really?
Have heard while you were
What noise did you actually make when that happened? I reckon it was, okay, right, that's it. Ooh. Was it that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Not
Because
bad.
if you'd had a few more bevies, we might have got a woo! But because that would have been restrained at that point, it would have been a
Yeah, just sat at home solo. It's not really the time to get too excited about that.
well, whatever you do is up to you. Jeff gets whipped towards the buckles, but ascends and hits a whisper on the wind. Whisper on. Okay, right.
Whisper
now we're
on
starting
the
the
wind.
whole
We
thing.
Pocahontas.
Yeah. With grandmother. What's the tree
Tree,
called?
isn't it?
Yeah. Jeff gets whipped towards the buckles, but ascends and hits Whisper in the wind on Bubba. Reversal of a whip sees Jeff elevated with a big back body drop before getting dropped with a Bubba bomb. Who's the man? Bubba asks. I don't know. A ladder now makes its way into the ring, not by itself, obviously, and Christian sets it up and looks to scamper up, but Matt pulls him back down. Now it's Matt's turn to get pulled down by Christian. A second ladder slides in, again, not by itself, and we hear the fans chant for tables. E and C work over Devon in the corner as Matt sends Bubba face first into the buckles. Matt tosses a ladder into the face of Bubba in one corner and Edge drives the other into Devon in the opposite one. Poetry in Motion connects on the ladder in front of Bubba, and Christian looks to hit his own version on Devon, but the ladder is cracked into his face. Double team ladder clothesline by the Hardys puts Edge down, and Devon takes a shot to the gut with the metal thanks to Matt. Matt scoops and slams Devon onto the ladder and climbs to the middle rope as Jeff chokes one half of the tag team champions. Elbow drop connects, and we get the trademark shaky leg sell from Brother Devon. DDT by Jeff drops Bubba, and the Hardys are doing well. Jeff places Bubba across the ladder and goes up top, but misses with a 450 splash attempt, landing shins first on the steel. This man has a death wish.
This is the first of many points in here when I go, no.
I'll be willing to bet that was the most painful thing he did.
Do you think?
I think so. Shins first on steel, when you're rotating, you can't really block that, probably. I think the big moment at the end won't have been nice, but I feel like it's broken a little bit by what he hits on the way down. But I could be wrong. I mean, I guess we could ask him, which I don't get carried away. I haven't.
No, I could imagine.
Could you imagine if I was just, by the way, Jeff Hardy
ridiculous.
cameo? I'd have had to leave the room, to be honest, wouldn't I?
So.
Could have been turned into a bloody snow globe in here. Christian connects. No, we've done that. I actually don't know where we are here.
No.
Where we go? Oh wow, where is it?
450.
Oh yeah, no, I remember the 450. Oh, there, I saw 450. Okay, cool. Christian connects with a reverse DDT on Matt as Bubba body slams Jeff. Bubba drops the ladder across Jeff before connecting with a second rope back senton that looks brutal. Christian has placed a ladder across Matt, and I've just remembered another bit that Jeff does, so I'd like to change my comment from earlier. Christian has placed a ladder across Matt, and with Edge on the top rope, he leans on a second ladder and falls across the trapped Hardy. We mentioned about Shawn doing that against Razor at WrestleMania 10, and now we've seen it again. Shawn did it better. Mm-hmm. Devon hits Edge with a body slam, and now it is he under a ladder, and he eats a top rope leg drop from the future Reverend. The classic Terry Funk ladder spot goes to Bubba as he wears the ladder and spins, wiping out all 4 opponents until a double team dropkick by ENC drives the ladder into him. Quite an awkward spot follows as ENC double team Devon and flapjack him into the ladder set up in the corner, but it just didn't look like it flowed for whatever reason.
No, I agree.
With Matt and Bubba brawling in the entryway, Christian sets up a ladder between the ropes for stability, which I thought was actually very clever, and climbs to the top. Devon attempts to pull him down, but he kicks free and connects with a crossbody that connects with both men on the floor.
Yeah, nice.
Holy shit chant greeted that one. Back in the ring, and Jeff is climbing a ladder until Edge spears him from the top rope to the canvas. A move that would be one-upped next year. Mm-hmm. With the ladder still in the middle of the ring, Edge looks to climb but is dragged off by Matt and is turned into a Razor's Edge sit-out powerbomb. And he lands high on his neck.
I did not like that. No, thank you. Mm-mm.
Matt's turn to attempt the climb, but Devon throws him down with a press slam. Bubba screams at Devon to climb, which he does until Christian tosses a ladder at him, knocking him down. Dueling ladder time as Bubba sets up a ladder next to the one Christian is on before he punches him straight in the balls. A third ladder is set up now, and as Christian is clawing for the titles, Bubba is beside him and takes him down hard to the canvas with an ace crusher. I like that.
Yeah.
The Hardys are the only ones left standing, and they start to tidy shop by moving ladders and tossing bodies. The Hardys climb a pair of ladders and connect with a dual splash and leg drop on Bubba Ray before Christian tosses Jeff to the outside. Yes. Matt is likewise ejected. In the corner, Devon and Christian are battling atop a ladder as Edge sets up a second next to them, and they hit a very ropey superplex on Devon.
Yeah.
Matt on... Okay. Right, now I'll ask you at the end. I've just thought of a good question. Oh. Matt on the outside rams Bubba face first into the steel stairs before he slides back into the ring. Matt and Jeff reposition the ladders in the middle of the ring before both they and ENC begin climbing to the top. All 4 men begin brawling up on top until Christian takes Jeff down with a facebuster moments before Edge takes Matt down with a side rush and leg sweep that sees both men come very close to hitting their necks on the bottom rope.
Thank you. I honestly, that was horrible.
That's one-way trip to Paralysis City.
Yeah,
if that goes wrong.
Like you see how close Matt is as well. I know he's close, but Matt is so close to cracking his neck over that rope.
He already had his eyes on Crazy Leets. Where are we from here? All 6 men are down until the Dudleys regain their footing. 3 ladders are set up and every man climbs to the top to brawl. Christian and Jeff find their ladder tipped over, sending both men over the top to the floor, and the splat that Jeff makes when he hits the mat is repulsive. Mm-hmm. It's a wet thud. Mm-hmm. That might be the worst one. I think.
Okay.
Bubba, meanwhile, finds himself shoved off the top and he bounces off the ropes before staggering back into the ladders, causing Matt and Edge to fall crotch first, or was it a bull guillotine? Dick guillotine. Crotch first on the top rope. Only the Dudleys...
Wouldn't be a ladder match without it, would
No, it wouldn't, absolutely not. Only the Dudleys are left in the ring, and they go about picking up 2 ladders, which they use to sandwich Christian.
Poor Christian.
A 3D, well, he would just have a go at their dads or something. A 3D for Edge, and once again the Dudleys are alone. The half-brothers, celebrate and then both leave the ring to retrieve tables. It should be noted that in the time they retrieved the wood and set the ladders up in the ring, they could have retrieved the titles and walked away as the winners.
Fair point.
I'm pretty sure Bubba shouts, "Time to die," before he and Devon position a table across the top of 2 ladders. Danger.
My brain immediately went, what in fuck's name are we doing here?
Yeah, I remembered the end scene, so I kind of...
Oh, okay.
I was fine. As they climb, the Hardys pull them down and get booed by the fans, surprisingly.
Stupid.
That happened though, didn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now Bubba and Devon set up 2 tables in the ring on opposite sides. Bubba throws Matt face first into the ring steps before setting yet another table up in front of the commentary tables. Looks like the Spanish table are in trouble as the top is ripped off and Bubba climbs on top looking to powerbomb Matt through the newly positioned furniture. In the ring, Devon takes flight from a ladder looking to splash Jeff through a table, but no water in the pool and he crashes through the wood himself. Unfortunately for Matt, however, he does find himself powerbombed through the table outside. JR calls God have mercy on this kid's soul. And that could probably be used to describe all the participants in this one.
The next bit that's coming that features Jeff made me do the very large, sharp intake of breath here.
Okay, let's see what that is. Bubba instructs Devon from the floor to climb the ladder, but doesn't see Jeff run onto the barricade until the last moment when he tosses a ladder at him, knocking him out of mid-air.
Yeah, I think because it's in the mid-air thing, I was like, oh, and it sounded grim.
It sounded grim, but I think that was fine.
Oh, I'm sure it is,
Yeah.
but that's the whole effect of it, isn't it? It's the
Yeah,
whole point.
true. But it was well timed.
Yeah.
And I'm always worried that Jeff's going to fall off when he does that. Bubba now has his hands on an incredibly large ladder that he erects in the aisleway. And sure as a bear shits in the woods, we have more tables in play.
Of course.
Bubba punches Jeff, causing him to fall across the table, but Christian blindsides him with a bell that connects with his dome not once, but twice. Now Bubba is lying on the table, and it's time for Jeff to fully remove his shirt. There it is. Before attempting an act of near
I
suicide.
do actually have it in it.
I just knew you'd have had something on it.
Yeah.
A phenomenal camera shot from below as Jeff poses looking down at Bubba before throwing himself from the tippy top with a swanton bomb that drives Bubba through the table. Insane risk.
Ridiculous.
But that's one of the images
That's the one I know.
Stood the
Yes.
It's that, the winners holding the titles after the match, and the one of, oh shit, what is it? The Dudleys posing on top of the ladder with the camera going round them.
See, the only one I know was that one.
Okay, fair. So you didn't know who won this match then?
Nope.
Okay,
No, fully invested.
cool. JR, this is amazing. This is an absolutely amazing match. We now get a replay of Jeff's heroics. Meanwhile, in the ring, Devon hits a, what is this move called, Holly?
Oh, I don't know. It's not the chair, is it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a note of it. I was paying too much attention to Jeff's replay.
Electric chair
Oh,
drop
it is a fucking electric chair.
on Christian.
Every time you ask, I'm just going to say electric
And you
chair.
nearly did.
Yes.
Devon climbs, but Matt pulls him down and connects with the twist of fate.
Yay.
And it only just dawns on me that we haven't seen Edge for what feels like about 10 minutes.
Just had a nice little rest.
Yeah, he was gone for a good
Yep.
portion of time.
Mm-hmm.
Christian and Matt look to climb the ladder and table Abomination, and they begin fighting atop the platform. That had to have been a reinforced table. That had to be.
It has to be.
There's Edge, who climbs up from behind Matt and gives him a shove in the arse, sending him head over heels through the table in the ring. With nobody left to stop them, Edge and Christian retrieve the tag team titles and walk away as your winners of a hell of a match. With the titles now in their possession, they sit atop the table with the gold raised above their heads, and that's the other image I've seen with Edge holding it up and Christian holding his.
Okay.
All around we see chaos and destruction.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly, Bubba is back on his feet whilst Jeff is still unmoving on the floor. The new champions take their leave through the crowd. Holly, what did you think of this match and what did you score it, please?
I thought it was ridiculous, but in a good way.
Okay.
So good. So good. It's a 5-starer.
Is it?
It's a 5-starer.
A 5-star
Yeah.
match. Wasn't expecting that.
I mean, out of the 6 people in it, big fans out of 4 of them, anyway.
And not the Dudleys.
But actually, I just really liked it. It was
Yeah.
so good.
Mhm.
And I honestly did watch it. I went back and watched it again.
Did
so
you?
I could actually watch it.
Nice.
Which to me is a sign of a 5-star match.
Yes.
Because otherwise I'm making notes and so no, I went back and watched it again, fully invested.
And I can't remember if you gave... I remember the first 5-star match you did. Have you done one in between? I feel like you have. I just don't remember what it was.
Wasn't it the Stone Cold and...
Bret Hart?
I don't remember. I don't know, but I think there's
Okay.
3. I think we've got 3
Yeah, I thought you
5-starers
did as
from
well.
me now.
And 2 of them have been ladder matches.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just noticing a theme.
Yeah, I know, right?
Just noticing a
But
theme.
yeah, I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Honestly loved it.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. So Dave scored it at 4 stars.
Okay.
I would split the difference actually and go 4.5.
Yeah.
Not that there was anything bad about this. There's just I couldn't put my finger on what, but just something didn't feel 5-star about it.
Okay.
So I'm comfortable with 4.5
Yeah.
stars, and that's still a hell of a score. So I'm content with that. And I don't know why I wasn't expecting you to come
Did
out
you
with a 5.
not?
I thought it'd be over 4, but I didn't think you'd hit 5.
Yeah, it really Yeah, really good for me.
Good, nice.
I'll have to keep note of all my 5-star ones. So
We'll
we
have
can
to revisit
compare
them.
Yeah.
See what your first 10 top 5-star matches are. But we've only hit 3 and we've been doing it a year, so it's been a while. To be fair, I think I've only hit 4? 4 or 5? I don't think I've hit... Oh, no, I remember what it was. Triple H Mick Foley, Royal Rumble.
Oh, okay.
That was your 5-star.
Yeah, rings a bell.
Yeah, the street fight for the title.
Yeah.
I
I don't like normal matches, do I?
No, I gave Stone Cold and Bret Hart 5 stars, and I gave Bret and Owen. I gave Bret and Owen 5 stars as well. So I think I've had 5 or 6, and you've had 3.
I've had no normal matches.
But we've agreed on 2 of them.
Yeah.
Which was the first 2 you picked. So yeah. From there, where do we go from there? My God. Let's go to the most charismatic woman in the history of the WWF, Linda McMahon. So the cameras now take us backstage where we see Kevin Kelly stood between Linda McMahon and Mick Foley. Kevin proposes how many lives will have been changed by that ladder match we just saw, and equally, how many will be changed in the Fatal 4-Way for the WWF title. Kevin says that this could be Mick's last match, and Linda congratulates him on achieving his dream of a WrestleMania main event with all the charisma and passion of an amoeba. Mick actually momentarily stumbles over his words early, probably a knock-on effect from Linda's shite efforts, but recovers and says that he is grateful for the second opportunity at a last impression. Foley says that fairy tales will come true for him tonight. Bang bang. Back to the commentary table, JR and King both have very complimentary words for the ladder match we just saw, and we're shown a replay of the match's conclusion. It now dawns on me that they are biding time whilst the ring crew conduct a thorough clear-up before the next contest. Talk about from one extreme to the other.
It's top of that peak is now dropping right fucking
hard.
down.
Hard and fast. Terry Runnels with the fabulous Moolah versus the Cat with Mae Young in a quote-unquote cat fight. Okay, so when you knew this match was coming...
I was sad I wasn't drinking whilst watching this.
Fair. What did you think the rules around this match were going to be?
Honestly, no fucking clue. Honestly, at this point, when it involves a women's match and it's a cat fight, I have no clue. Someone getting naked at some point, probably.
When they say that, is that the code like, lads, drop your pants, get the lotion, enjoy?
Yeah, pretty much.
It feels like that to me.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
So I watched this one twice as well, but that's for, I tell you, Mae Young, hello, come on. She's on fire in this one. First of all, we see the special guest referee in this contest, none other than Val Venus, who is wearing a shirt that says he is cocked, locked, and ready to unload, with the font looking like jizz. My question to you, Holly, is this. Who the fuck wants to buy a shirt that looks like it has been written in cum?
True. Fair point, I hadn't even thought about it.
Why would you want that?
I'll be honest, I was distracted by the towel because I thought that was very clever.
I'll give him credit, though, for having a referee pattern towel for the contest.
That's brilliant.
Hello, ladies. The Big Valboski and WrestleMania have a lot in common, Holly. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. They're both the single biggest extravaganza of all time. That went a bit Vincey there towards the end.
A little bit.
They also both get your heart pumping, although it sounded like lug.
Oh, I thought you said blood.
Oh, blood, that makes sense. Same thing. The only difference is that WrestleMania only comes once a year, but Val admits to having an ejaculation problem as he simply cannot stop.
He comes every single night.
He does, yeah, fair enough.
Gosh.
I haven't done that for many years.
Now, his protein intake.
Well, and outtake by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Now it's time for the women to come down to the ring, and this is easily the most clothes I've ever seen Terry Runnels wear. I also have to laugh as when Finkel announces the fabulous Moolah, King goes, ugh. Crowd sign. Steve Blackman's only fan. Holly, I didn't know you were in attendance that night.
That's so sad.
I didn't know you were there.
We know I would never write a sign. I would do many things.
If you had to write a sign, what are you writing on a sign?
Oh, I don't know. That's a thing.
Your OnlyFans link?
Yeah, probably. Buy my foot pics.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're running out of time now, aren't you?
I know.
I feel like it might go into next year type thing. JR breaks... Oh, no.
Ooh.
Yes. JR breaks the sad news that this match is highly likely to be a bag of flaming shit, which was a huge surprise to me, I'll be honest. For all the clothes Terry is not wearing... for all the clothes Terry is not wearing, the opposite can be said of the cat, who's wearing a see-through black mesh all in one. I don't know how else to describe what I saw there.
Fishnet bodysuit.
Yeah, and it goes like see-through, not see-through, see-through, wasn't it? Or am I getting that confused?
She's got undies on.
I'm getting that confused with what Lillian had on.
Yeah, she's got like a bra and G-string on.
Yep, well, good for her. As the Cat and Mae Young make their way to the ring, Terry is playing to the ego of Val Venus. I am already bored. Now Cat tries to muscle in on Terry's turf, so Val rings the bell. I can only apologise for the lack of enthusiasm I'm going to show in the next 5 minutes on this. Both women push each other before Terry hits the worst tackle I have ever seen in my life, taking Cat down, and I guess the cat fight has begun. Oh, by the way, if you care, one of them just has to get sent out the ring, and it's over.
Oh, yeah.
Val breaks it up when Terry won't stop thrashing and picks her up, carrying her away, so she decides to plant a kiss on the big Valboski. JR, I have never seen a wrestler kiss a referee before. Don't worry, you still haven't on both counts. Also, would you want to, JR?
Oh no!
Imagine in the Iron Man match, and Sean just goes up and plants a kiss on Earl Hebner and gives him a little pat on the bum. Oh dear. The cat spots this, and Val sees her, so just drops Terry on the canvas, which was admittedly funny.
Yeah.
Now King has to call his girlfriend kissing Val, which is both funny and uncomfortable. Cat asks Terry how she likes that, and is met with a pair of hair mares. For some reason, Mae Young is kneeling on the apron, hopefully not waiting for an opportunity to whip her norks out. Running tackle, oh how I didn't know. Running tackle by Cat takes Terry down, and fuck me, I jinxed it, Mae is flashing her puppies at Val. Why, Mae? For the love of God, why? The Cat tosses Terry to the floor, and the match should be over, but Mae still has Val distracted, allowing Moolah to deposit Terry back in the ring. As the Cat is protesting, Terry hits her from behind. Now Mae Young is going after Moolah, who rolls into the ring to escape. Why?
Honestly.
Val escorts Moolah out of the ring, so Mae grabs Terry by the hair. Val pulls her away, so Mae plants a kiss on the ref, and this is Carly Kiss Cam levels of awful.
It's not. I loved the kiss cam. It was so bad. It was funny.
This
just
bit
made
gets
me
there.
Feel uncomfy.
This bit gets there. For a second time, Cat throws Terry to the floor, but Mae is now climbing the ropes, trying to mount the big Valboski. This is brilliant. Moolah trips Cat up and drags her to the floor before returning Terry to the ring once again. When Mae finally lets go of Val, he sees that Cat is outside the ring and Terry is inside, so asks for the bell to sound. As Terry and Moolah celebrate, the Mae Young show keeps on rolling as she attacks both women, begins crotch chopping, and hits a Bronco Buster on Moolah.
Yeah.
Fair fucks.
Yeah.
I am genuinely surprised we didn't see puffs of dust and bats flying out of her coochie. What?
Stop it. Oh, God.
Now Terry wearing clothes makes sense. It gives the Cat something to rip off.
Of course.
Not well. It reminded me of Roddy Piper ripping them off Goldust at WrestleMania in the Hollywood, which Terry was also involved in. Moolah tries to cover Terry's arse with her jacket and yanks Mae away, who with one arm drags Terry along with her until they finally escape. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that? I'm not calling it a match. What were your thoughts on this? And what did you score it?
It was a waste of time.
Yep.
It was a crock of shit.
Yep.
It was also a bit of a palaver, I'll be honest.
A palaver.
I love that word.
Oh.
I love that word. Palaver.
Okay.
Such a good word.
Okay, I'm not angry. I'm not angry with
obviously
it.
I gave it nothing. Because it's a crock of shit.
Yeah, I would give this a solid 0 stars as well. Big Dave, -1 stars.
I'll be honest, I'm amazed he only gave it -1.
Yeah, apparently the tag team match was worse.
That's ridiculous.
I know.
And he likes his ladies then, clearly.
I don't know if he does. Maybe he just gave points to Mae Young for being funny as shit in this.
Yeah, fair.
We now head backstage, where we see Dean Malenko corralling the troops as Eddie Guerrero looks in the title belt. Looks in the title belt Dean is holding, checking out his own appearance. Been a while since we've seen Saturday Marengo, hasn't it, chick?
I knew you were going to say that, because that's even what I've written down. I can't. My phone hates me
Oh, I
and
love
just
that.
wants them to be called that, so I just give in.
Eddie is more concerned with the twinkle he thinks he saw in Chyna's eye and that she can't fight her feelings for him. Funniest line of the night goes to Perry Saturn here, who says that Eddie is not the only good-looking one in the group. Okay, Perry.
Wish people could just see the impersonation that you did of his eyes.
What do you mean? I didn't do anything.
I can't do that, so I don't know.
Okay.
That's funny.
Eddie says there's no risk of them losing as Chyna can't stand his Latino heat, and tonight he will lay it all over her. Okay, so
Beg to differ.
cum blanket. I don't know what he was going for there, to be honest. The cameras shift to the lot. Maybe we'll need some of Val's refueling protein shake.
Oh, maybe.
Sorry for punching the microphone there. The cameras shift to the locker room where Chyna and Too Cool are watching the Radicals on a monitor, and the Ninth Wonder shudders, calling Eddie disgusting. Grandmaster says they don't need to worry about them, and then after a fingertip touch, the three make their way out of the room.
Yeah.
Yeah? That
Yeah.
pretty much sums up what we've seen there.
That's-
What would you call that fingertip touch?
I don't know. Yeah,
It was
I
like a
don't know.
double ET. I don't know what the...
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Tip touch.
Oh, I don't know what noise that came out of me there, to be honest. Maybe later. The Radicals versus Too Cool and Chyna. Wasn't excited for this, I'll be honest.
I have a little soft spot for Too Cool.
Okay, yeah, I do, but
The whole match as a whole, just give me Eddie versus Chyna at this point. But yeah, I'll be honest, the only people I'm not interested in seeing are
Saturday and
Saturday
Marengo.
and Marengo.
The trio of Eddie Guerrero, Perry Saturn, and the WWF Light Heavyweight Champion, Dean Malenko, make their way to the ring. And they look all business as well as they do that, except for Eddie. He's got a bit of pizzazz in his step.
And Perry Saturn's tan, my God.
He's always been like
Been
that.
taking tips from Hulk.
Yeah, duck à l'orange.
Same colour.
Yeah, very
Steak.
much so. Old steak. The Perry Saturn and Hogan express delivery steak shop. Chyna, who I can confirm has completed her full transition, and pleasingly she enters with her pyro cannon, which I will say again is fantastic.
Yeah.
But nobody can touch the entrance that follows, as Too Cool in full hip-hop black and white gear dance their way to the ring.
So good.
Scotty Too Hottie moonwalking half of it.
Fucking love it.
Yep. As Scotty and Sexay dance around the ring, Eddie is lying across the top rope and blows a kiss and winks at Chyna, which is tremendous. After Eddie removes his top, he throws it at the feet of Chyna. Epic loverboy shithousery right here.
Very good.
Starting this one off is Guerrero and Scotty, who decides that the hat will stay on.
Absolutely.
Eddie feigns distraction with Chyna, which allows him to kick Scotty in the midsection and slap on a side headlock. Scotty pushes free, and sadly that is all it is for the hat, as it now comes off, which is only further insulted by him getting knocked down with a shoulder tackle.
However, his hat does make an appearance later on.
Yes it does. Yes it does. Does it?
Yep.
Okay.
Some guy in the crowd
I don't see that.
gets it, literally has it on, and then later in the main event,
Someone comes back and...
we'll get there because it's not really, well, actually, I'll just say now because it's not important. There's a guy in the front row of the crowd wearing the Scotty Too Hottie hat that has no
Yeah.
top, and Triple H knocks it off him.
Don't
For
remember
no fucking
that.
reason whatsoever.
Probably so Scotty could get it back after the show.
Probably.
Fair enough, I did not notice that, but we also see Grandmaster's headpiece a couple times in this match, to be honest. Drop down and leapfrog by Scotty, who monkey flips Eddie across the ring. A frustrated Eddie runs right into a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, and Scotty moonwalks directly into tagging Chyna.
Brilliant. I can't be mad at it.
Guerrero sees this and scampers on his knees across the ring to hug/tag Dean Marengo. Chyna tries to catch Malenko unaware with a kick, but he catches it and spins her around, only to be dropped with a clothesline. Forearm shots to the jaw by Chyna, but she is kicked in the gut off a whip, and Malenko looks to hit a powerbomb that is only broken by Scotty clotheslining him from the apron. Chyna now tags in Grandmaster Sexay, and the two double-team the light heavyweight champion with a suplex before Sexay begins dancing. After a small amount of encouragement, so does Chyna. If there's white guy dancing, there's white girl dancing.
Yeah.
Grandmaster dances into missing a clothesline but connects with the back elbow, and after a big right hand tosses Malenko across the ring with a body slam. Eddie makes the tag but finds 2 punches blocked, a kick caught, and he is spun into a back suplex. Grandmaster drops the goggles as he heads to the top rope, but thanks to a distraction from Dean Malenko with the ref, Satin is able to shove Sexay down to the canvas. Baseball dropkick by Guerrero, who now tags Satin in, and Perry grabs Sexay's do-rag and puts it on himself before stomping away. Weirdly, didn't look weird.
No.
Very strange. Tag to Malenko, and Sexay is dropped with the double-team clothesline. Eddie the legal man, and he hits a suplex on Grandmaster. Irish whip by Guerrero, but he ducks early and is booted in the face. Grandmaster tags in Scotty, who manages to avoid a basement dropkick but finds himself hit with a stun gun, killing all of his momentum. Eddie is making eyes at China once more, but his attention is soon returned with a back suplex on Scotty before he connects with a tope con hilo. After goading Grandmaster, you're like, what have you just said?
Yeah,
where he's on the
what
apron,
is that?
springs himself over and drops his back on them.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Goo-doo-doo-doo-doo. No, where are we? I need to stop doing that. After goading Grandmaster, Eddie smacks China and runs her face first into the ring post. Oh, you shook your head there.
Oh, I didn't write ring post. Oh dear.
Oh, so we're not having a drink then?
No.
Okay, fan. Scotty batters Eddie up against the ropes, which opens the door for Grandmaster to suplex Latino Heat to the floor. Nasty. Satin and Malenko, although I know what your notes say, double team Scotty in the ring, but they both duck early off a whip, allowing him to fight back. Super kick from Grandmaster to Malenko, and Satin is taken down with a bulldog. Holly, it's time.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Scotty is feeling it.
Good.
I'm not talking about myself in third person here either. We get the W, the O, the R, and the M, and Scotty hits both Malenko and Satin with the worm. Eddie hits the ring once more but misses a clothesline on Scotty, who drops him with a right hand. Guerrero hugs the waist of the ref and cowers behind him, which results in Satin and Malenko pulling Scotty out of the ring and sending him back first into the barricade, before throwing him into the fans. Meanwhile in the ring, Chyna is being pulled away from Eddie until she manhandles the ref but is stopped once more. Eddie and Scotty are back in the ring and Satin gets the tag. Drop down off the whip from Eddie sees Satin connect with a super kick before heading up top. From there, he sails to hit an elbow drop, which he overshoots, but we pretend like it connected anyway.
Oh, it's so bad.
It really is.
So
Camera
bad.
angle did him dirty as well. Now Eddie goes up top, but Scotty hits the ropes and crotches him with a
Dick guillotine.
Dick guillotine. Scotty joins him up top and connects with a superplex that leaves both men down.
Mm-hmm.
The referee begins the count and the crowd is clapping with encouragement. Scotty looks for the tag, but Guerrero has him by the leg, but he still cannot stop him from reaching Chyna. Once again, Eddie scampers away, and Satin and Malenko look to run interference. Chyna clotheslines both men. Now Guerrero shuffles between her legs in the opposite direction, and Chyna hits both Satin and Malenko with forearms. Body slam for both men, and Chyna is a house of fire. Pair of handspring back elbows, and the crowd are actually enjoying this quite a lot. She sends the ref away, drops to her knees, and no, not that video, but she hits a big low blow on both men. Eddie picks his spot and blindsides her. The other 4 competitors are outside the ring. Latino Heat sets up for a powerbomb, but not before gyrating. Mm-hmm. However, Chyna lands on her feet and flashes a G-string for good measure.
Yeah, I think her trousers must have ripped or broken at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Her gear was good, by the way.
So good,
We'll get to that later, obviously. Good. Chyna hits a powerbomb instead and opens up with stiff forearms. Irish whip sees Eddie run right into a testicular claw, and that is a good way to bruise your grapes. Chyna turns this into a ball grip military press, which Eddie put better than you would expect, because Chyna couldn't quite keep him up there as she would want to. The Ninth Wonder hits a sleeper slam, hooks the leg, and there we have the 1, 2, 3. Malenko and Satin could not get there in time to break the fall. Too Cool and Chyna finish up by celebrating as they walk back up the aisle. Holly, how'd you feel about this match?
I actually liked it.
Okay.
I did like it.
Fine.
And just a little point to add. This is in no reference to the wrestling in this match whatsoever. But I thought it was really sweet how they win. Obviously, Chyna's trousers are broken. Scotty, when she comes out the ring, holds her trousers up the whole time so that she doesn't flash her ass, and literally just tries to cover her the whole time. And
what a gentleman.
Like, you know what? That's actually well sweet.
Yeah, what a gentleman.
Sweet. Just made me like him even more, I'll be honest.
Good.
I definitely overscored this. 100% no, I did. Mid card 2.5. Enjoyed it.
Dave scoring?
Yep. Oh, I can't. 2.5.
Yep.
Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Okay.
My scoring? 2.5. Thought it was fine.
I enjoyed it.
Yep, it had a good flow to it.
It
There
did.
wasn't anything that I disliked in it.
Compared to the other shit
all
we've
were
seen
fine.
as well. Like this was alright.
Eddie made trying to look pretty damn good, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which obviously she needs someone to make her look good. I think if she's the star attraction, as we saw with like the match with Lita, it's not quite the same. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good all round. We see Michael Cole go to the lucky winner Bridget's house and confirm she has won the WrestleMania All Day Long contest, and she and her husband are whisked off by limo to a private jet to fly them both to California. I think she actually says it's her first flight ever. Not surprised. The camera. What did you think when you saw it? Describe the scene that you saw when they rocked up at this person's house. I'm surprised it wasn't a trailer, but carry on.
I can't. Oh, and do you know what the one scene or picture that got me was the fact that they're telling her she's won. She's inside her house. There's loads of people in there. Fine. Her kid is stood right by her, and she's got a fag in her hand, and literally hugs her kid. And this fag is so close to this kid's head. Ugh, gross.
Fag for our American friends is cigarettes, just to be clear. But yeah,
and that is my only note because I was just like, this is a point of like waste of time.
And did you know they were like all cousins?
Stop it.
What? I don't know if they weren't. I'm just saying, it could have been.
It's just a bit much.
The cameras now pick her up in front row, and noises she is making make me wish she never entered the contest. Fucking annoying. Just shut up. Shut up.
More or less annoying than a whistle?
More annoying.
Ooh, okay.
More annoying. Comfortably more annoying.
Wow.
Speaking of fucking annoying, Shane O'Mac is now heard hyping up the Big Show as the camera slowly climbs up the massive frame of the WWF title challenger. Shane says that Vinnie Mac is old news and the McMahon-Helmsley era is passé. He wishes his mum wasn't out there, and quite frankly, so do we. Tonight it's time for a new beginning with Big Show as WWF champion. Big Show says the most electrifying man will be unplugged. Didn't know he was on life support. And Mick Foley will retire. Well, yes. As far as Triple H goes, it will be game over. I'll allow that one, that was alright. With that bit of business done, JR takes us back to Sunday Night Heat, where we see Bob Backlund say to Kurt Angle that he wants him to be the best, and it was his idea for Kurt to put both titles on the line at WrestleMania. Angle's response? Slap on the crossface chicken wing to Mr. Backlund.
Kurt just doing great Kurt work, to
Yes.
be honest. That's all I can say of it.
Kurt now talks to the head security and explains the Eurocontinental title being a combination of the two belts put together. And he asks if some security can be rounded up as he, after he wins, he's going to celebrate in the fans and he might need their assistance. And Kurt says, if he agrees, maybe he'll even sign some autographs for his kids or something.
I just love
It's great, Kurt.
I could watch his work all day.
It's great. It's great. The match.
Yes.
The second, probably most anticipated match of the show, I think it's fair to say.
Sure.
After the ladder match.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho versus Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle. Two-fall triple threat match for the Eurocontinental title.
And this confused me.
I love that this is a two-falls triple threat match, as I can see Holly doing the long division in her head up until Howard Finkel explains the rules for the match. The first fall is for the Intercontinental title. The second is for the European title.
Do you want to know something? I heard that. I listened to it. First pinfall happens. I'm like, why the fuck is it not finished?
Oh my god. But yeah, word for word, that's what I have written down.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
One thing I would say about the order of that strikes me as strange is that, to me, the Intercontinental title is way more prestigious than the European title. Have the European title be the first pinfall.
Okay.
You could still do the same thing between them. It would still work out the same. But there you go. Chris Jericho is out first, looking in peak form.
This is my favourite Jericho era too.
So you're a Jerichoholic at this phase?
At this point. I mean, Jeff was number one.
Yeah.
But Jericho was very much so number two at this point.
And he grabs a microphone to address said Jerichoholics. Welcome to WrestleMania is Jericho. Jericho says he's been a while waiting. He has been waiting his whole life for this moment, and I imagine I did that justice. He can't guarantee that he'll walk out with either of the titles, but he will walk out as the true Ayatollah of rock and roller, and that is all that really matters here.
Yep.
Jericho insults both opponents by calling them Kurt Angel and Mr. Roboto, saying they will leave with a shirt that says, "All I got from Anaheim was this shirt and an ass kicking from Chris Jericho." Benoit is out second before finally the double champ makes his way to the ring. I now notice that the voice of Howard Finkel sounds canned and realise it has been done post-show as we hear his voice but see that the man himself in the ring is not talking.
Oh.
I was like, the audio doesn't sound right on that.
Oh, I see.
And I looked and Howard Finkel's already walking out the ring, not talking, as his voice is still being heard.
Right.
I don't know why.
Don't know.
I really don't know why. Because, yeah, I have no clue because it's when Kurt Angle was coming in.
I don't know. This is also our first time on the show with a Benoit match, right?
No.
What other match did we see him in?
Oh, good question.
I think this is the first one.
No, it's not.
What's the other one?
Oh, it's going to bug me, but I know we have.
Have we?
Yeah, I really do think we have. And I feel like it was... Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah, for sure. We've seen him in a few. He was in a tag team match where Triple H gets injured.
I don't remember.
You remember where Triple H's quad gets blown
Was he in
out?
that one?
It's Triple H and Stone Cold against Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho, and Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho win the tag titles.
Yes, it is.
And there's another one where Chris Benoit, and I feel like it's against Angle.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure it's against
Angle. My God,
Angle.
I don't remember.
But like I said, we've done 50 plus of these now, so it's hard to remember. But I'm sure we have.
Okay.
Well, I know we
I
have.
couldn't remember if this was obviously my memory is shite clearly. Of the one that he wins something, I knew it wouldn't be this because obviously it's not the big enough titles, but it's a bit funky on the network, isn't it?
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. We'll get to it when it ever happens because I'll
Oh, okay, well, right. I'm with you, I think. Talking, Howard Finkel, yeah, okay, fine. As Kurt unhooks the titles from around his midsection and places them on the stairs, he's jumped from behind by Chris Benoit. Benoit rolls Angle into the ring where he's met by Y2J. Angle reverses the whip, however, and narrowly avoids the clothesline, which instead hits Benoit, who had once again struck Angle from behind. Second clothesline by Jericho lands on Angle, and he now shifts to kicking away at Benoit in the corner until Kurt stops him. Whip reversal results in Angle eating a back elbow from Y2J, dropping him on his backside. I guess I've got a question for you really at this point, and I forgot to mention that question in the ladder match, so I'm going to go back to that one first, so apologies for it being a bit out of sync. If you had to have taken the moves that one of the wrestlers did in that ladder match, who do you pick?
I would take the hit for it. As in, like, they're doing it to me.
Mm-hmm. You had to be that person in that match. Who'd you pick?
Oh, God. Christian. I feel like
so you jumped from the ladder to the outside for the crossbody.
Yeah, I do feel like he got the...
I'll take Bubba.
The least abuse. Yeah.
I'll take Bubba, because I'm thinking about the things there. The back senton on the ladder on Jeff. I feel more worried about Jeff than me. Mm-hmm. Taking the swanton from Jeff again. I feel like Jeff's getting the worst of that there.
Hits him, yeah.
I hit the Bubba cutter on Christian off the ladder. Fine. I throw a ladder at Jeff.
Yeah, true. He doesn't really.
I powerbomb Matt through a table.
Okay, fine.
I'll take that, because at first I thought Devon, but I was like, Devon gets that superplex, which is ropey. So I was like, actually, I'll take Bubba.
Okay.
And on this one, back to the triple threat match. So change of pace for you. I didn't ask before the match started, but I assume given the three involved, your expectations couldn't have not been high, surely.
Yeah, no, they were sky high.
Okay.
Sky high.
Okay, we'll see if that paid off or not. The Benoit Butcher's counter is unloading with murderous chops at discount on Jericho now. Corner Whip sees Y2J hit sternum first and stumble backwards into a back suplex. Into a back suplex attempt, but he lands on his feet before drop kicking the Rabid Wolverine shoulder first into the ring post. Drink, yes indeed. Y2J connects with a nice drop kick to the face of Angle shortly thereafter, but on his springboard drop kick attempt to the apron, Benoit swipes his feet out from underneath him on the middle rope. Benoit drops an elbow to the back of Y2J before joining Angle on the apron. As he's kicking away, Y2J connects with a springboard drop kick that sends both men tumbling to the floor.
I liked that.
Yeah, I did. Baseball slide drop kick to Benoit connects, sending him into the barricade, but Jericho runs into a flapjack that sees him land on the ring steps. Back in the ring, Angle hits a belly-to-belly suplex on Y2J, but Benoit breaks up the pinfall. Nasty clothesline from Benoit on Angle sees Jericho break up the pinfall attempt as well. Y2J with chops on Benoit, and now he is driving knees to the face. Double underarm suplex into a backbreaker on Kurt from Jericho, who has started strongly. Jericho climbs on the top rope, but Benoit bull rushes him and sends him flying all the way down to the Spanish announce desk, which he hits hard. Not the worst landing on that table we will see in this show.
No.
Great snap suplex by Benoit on Angle gets a near fall, as does a beautiful back suplex. From behind, Y2J catches Benoit with a drop kick to the back of the head, but finds his corner whip on Angle reversed. He does, however, get the boot up after a little confusion before connecting with a second rope missile dropkick that gets a 2 when Benoit interrupts. Backbreaker by Benoit gets a 2 count on Jericho when Angle breaks it up. Suplex by Angle on Benoit gets a 2 count, so he starts trading until he starts trading strikes with Y2J. Boot to the gut by Jericho, who follows with a bulldog but only gets a 2 count. Benoit is firing off big chops on Jericho until Kurt hits him with a back suplex. A lot of suplexes we're noticing here.
I do mention this later.
The following cover is broken up by a diving Jericho from the second rope. Camel clutch is applied by Jericho to Benoit, but he sees Angle coming and breaks the hold to knock him down. Delayed vertical suplex by Jericho is nice, but Benoit is the one who tries to sneak the pin that Y2J has to break up.
And I
like
thought that was
that.
clever.
I
Yeah.
did. Angle whips Jericho into the buckles, but Y2J gets the boot up. Angle ducks the clothesline and counters into a lovely double arm capture suplex that gets a near fall. Angle whips Benoit into the buckles at at Jericho, but Y2J goes up and over with a sunset flip that is countered by Benoit into a pin of his own. Angle breaks the attempt with a drop kick that sees Benoit go face first into the middle turnbuckle. With Benoit on the outside, Angle and Jericho continue, and Kurt looks to accidentally kick Y2J right in the plums. After several counters, Angle locks in the crossface chicken wing and falls back to the canvas. Jericho is fighting in the hold but won't submit. He's fading. Holly, please can you do the honours?
Oh, he's asleep. I don't really understand what move wakes this up.
Benoit breaks the hold before the arm can come down for a third time before taking Angle to the outside. Dumb move. Throw Angle. Oh, sorry, dumb move. So I've called out an error which he actually doesn't make. So I say throw Angle, get the cover, get the win. Benoit throws Angle into the fans and climbs the top turnbuckle where he connects with a flying headbutt to the motionless Y2J, hook of the leg, and the 1, 2, 3. Fair play, Chris. Thought you had made an error there, but Benoit is the new Intercontinental Champion. So you're confused now?
I thought you won both. And then 10 seconds later went, no, you fucking idiot. Like, you already know what's happening here. It's a win. You got to win twice.
It's a win twice match, yeah. With Benoit's music playing, he takes the very wise decision to try and pin Jericho again, which the ref begins to count until Angle interferes. Suplex by Angle gets a 2 count on Benoit. Body slam by Angle, who now climbs to the top rope, where Jericho pushes his legs to...
Oh, shock horror. It's another dick guillotine.
With another dick guillotine on the top buckle. Jericho joins him up there, but he himself gets dick guillotined by Benoit, who then hits a lovely super back suplex. Angle takes the opportunity to capitalise. I'm leaning into her bits and she doesn't even know they're coming.
No, I was looking at my notes and mine just says group hug.
I am leaning into her bits.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
That was earlier. Angle takes the opportunity to capitalise and looks to hit a very graceful moonsault, but Benoit rolls clear. The ref begins counting all men who are down. Begins counting as all men are down. And JR proffers that if 10 is reached, Angle will retain the title because that one will have been a draw if no one moves after 10 seconds. Okay. Fair enough. Fortunately for the Olympian, he rolls over and puts an arm over the chest of Benoit for a near fall. Jericho now gets a near fall on Angle before countering a clothesline by scooping the legs and applying the walls of Jericho, but only briefly as Benoit breaks up the attempt. Knee to the stomach off the whip flips Jericho head over heels by Benoit, who drops the boots in the corner. Body slam by Angle on Benoit hits hard, and now he goes to work with right hands on Y2J. Kurt whips Jericho into the buckles, but Benoit misses the charge, and Y2J levels Angle with a forearm before connecting with a spinning heel kick to the Rabid Wolverine. Kick to the gut off the whip, and Jericho puts all his efforts into successfully hitting a double powerbomb on the champion.
Lovely.
That second lift was tough. Y2J looks to make the cover but sees Benoit re-enter the ring and charges him, only to be met with a trifecta of German suplexes that Angle has to break the pin on. Dragon suplex by Angle on Angle by Benoit sees him over-rotate, and even though Kurt's shoulders are clearly not on the canvas, the ref counts too. Yeah. That annoyed me.
Of course.
King says that he should start calling the ref Dim White, and just after he says that, Dim White is levelled by a flying forearm from Jericho, knocking him out.
That makes sense, because I've written something in my notes, and I was like, what does that even mean? I put Dim White lights out, and I was like, what does that even mean? But now it makes sense.
Benoit slaps on the crippler crossface to Y2J, which still doesn't look right to me now, who taps out, but the ref is out cold, so Benoit should be the champ. Benoit releases the hold to go and scream ref at Tim White.
Because that's obviously going to wake you up if you're knocked out.
Exactly. As he returns, Jericho scoops the legs and applies the walls of Jericho. Yay. Angle sees his moment, grabs the title and smacks Y2J between the eyes before making the cover. Tim White is barely recovered but does begin his count, but Benoit pulls Jericho out of the ring. Benoit and Angle trade heavy right hands until a wild one results in Angle missing and getting taken down with a back suplex. Benoit goes up top and takes flight with a diving headbutt, but nobody is home and he rolls over only to be hit with a lion salt. Hook of the leg, and we have the 1, 2, 3. Chris Jericho is the European champion, and without losing either of the falls, Kurt Angle has lost both titles in one night. Because I think they're still going with him being undefeated, apart from the Taz illegal chokeout at Royal Rumble. Angle is outraged as the titles are awarded to his two challengers, but it is all in vain as this one is over. Yes. What's interesting though, if you look at Angle's positioning here, he lost by all rights to Taz at Royal Rumble. Look how they're positioned a few months later. Yeah. Taz just thrown into the hardcore match, and granted he probably looks the best out of what's there other than Viscera. Yeah. And then Kurt Angle's a double champion. Yeah. Interesting how the tides can change.
Isn't it?
What do you think of this match, though?
What did I write down? So, as we know, when I watch these matches, though, I always have to make it more interesting for myself, I will back someone mentally anyway.
So Jericho?
Of course, 100%. So I was happy that he got belt. I thought it was a really good match. I really enjoyed it. The only things I would say is, for me personally, there wasn't a lot of diversity in what I saw. There's so many suplexes, so many, and I get it with who's in there, but it did get a little tiresome at times. Would have liked to have seen something else. Yep. But as a whole, actually, I really did enjoy it with the people that were in there. I thought it was good. I gave it 4.25.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I was hooked. I think that was why.
Okay. You went more generous than what I did and what Dave did. So Dave gave it 2.75. Okay. I would go for 3.25.
Yeah, fine.
I thought it was fine. It was good, in fact, but I wasn't engaged with it like I should be. And I feel like it's the triple threat that made it worse. If I had my choice, take out Jericho. I would rather... They couldn't have done it this way because there was no other McMahon to put in the 5-way in the main event, but just...
Put Jericho in there.
Jericho doesn't make that any worse, and he doesn't necessarily improve this triple threat. And that's not necessarily a dig at him. I just felt like the way it worked between the three of them was fine, but I think it would have been improved if it had just been one-on-one. Backstage we go, where we see Michael Cole interview Vince McMahon, and he asks the chairman if he'll be a factor in the night's main event at ringside. Vince likes to think wherever he is, he's a factor, but regardless of that, The Rock is very confident of winning the title. McMahon denies the idea that his family are dysfunctional, but he guaranteed that tonight he will make things right. We now shift to Triple H's locker room, where he has obviously heard what Vince has just said, as he states it doesn't matter what is right, it is about who is the best. He will prove to the world that he is the game, and he is the WWF champion, and he simply will not allow it. He's a couple of years away from being able to make those kind of decisions, but I admire the confidence in him. I forgot this match was next. Go into another match. Holly, who's in this match? Say it. X-Pac! X-Pac and Road Dogg with Tori versus Rikishi and Kane with Paul Bearer. Time for Holly's favourite, as we hear a modified version of the DX theme featuring Run DMC, as X-Pac and Road Dogg alongside Tori make their way to the ring. Road Dogg has the microphone and welcomes the fans to the doghouse. Oh, shut up. The DOGG prattles on for a bit in rhyme form before saying 2 tears in a bucket, and if you ain't down with that, he has 2 words for you.
Mm-hmm.
Dog shit.
Oh, come
Facing,
on.
I didn't care about him at this point. It was the novelty of it, very much worn off for me. Facing off against DX are the beefy duo of Rikishi and Kane, who was accompanied to the ring by a turtleneck-wearing Paul Bearer. Thoughts on Paul Bearer's look here?
I mean, I'll be honest though, he looked a bit healthier than every other time I've seen him. Looks like he's slimmed down a little bit.
Yeah, Percy Pringle had slimmed down a little bit there. Even though he was referenced on commentary, Holly, you'll be pleased to see no Pete Rose. Before the match can get underway, Tori slaps Paul Bearer, who marches her down. Don't know why they're getting involved right away like that.
Oh, just get rid of them both.
The bell sounds and Rikishi is jumped by X-Pac and Road Dogg as Kane cuts Tori off on the outside and grabs her by the throat. So the story behind this is Tori was... Do you remember Kane and X-Pac were feuding at the Royal Rumble? Tori was the Jezebel that was between both of them and kind of broke them up and was with X-Pac. So Kane has been turned babyface by this whole process.
God.
Outside by the throat. Thankfully for the Jezebel, she is saved by X-Pac, who wails away on Kane's back until the big red machine turns and hits an uppercut. The ref is furiously kicking the remnants of Rikishi's necklace out of the ring, and the big man himself hits a running corner splash on the dog. It's early doors, but we get a WrestleMania-sized stink face, and now Tori is in the ring. She sees Big Quiche, panics, and falls to her backside where she begins dragging herself to the corner. Big mistake. Fortunately, X-Pac saves her again and drags her out of the ring. DX look to leave, but Kane and Rikishi follow to stop them. Kane understandably keeps his focus on X-Pac as Quiche works over the dog. Back in the ring, and X-Pac catches Rikishi with a back heel kick, and I cannot believe it, but King genuinely refers to Kane as the big red retard. He says that clear as day, and I thought, even then you can't say, don't get me wrong, it was a different time, but...
Yeah.
And I was just like, how have they not bleeped this? How have they not gone back and bleeped that? But I was to the point where I was like, no, I must have misheard that. No. And I went back and I was like, no, he does. It's so bad. So bad. Where are we on the notes after that? With Quiche sat in the corner after some kicks, X-Pac hits a Bronco Buster and tags out to the dog. Precision jabs by the dog, but the big right after a dance doesn't get the job done. The flying forearm does, and the leg-shaking knee drop connects. Cover, 1, 2, no. Quiche kicks out with full power. X-Pac is back in, and he's kicking away at Rikishi, who slowly makes his way back to his feet. X-Pac hits the ropes, but Quiche powers him into the air and brings him back down with an ace crusher before rolling to make the tag to Kane. Forward roll as well. Quite impressive, but I like the move that set it up as well. Clothesline to Road Dogg, big boot to X-Pac, uppercut and big boot to the dog, and a huge back body drop to the former 1-2-3 Kid. Road Dogg is clotheslined over the top to the floor, and X-Pac eats one in the corner himself. Kane looks at Quiche, who nods his head knowingly, and it doesn't look good for X-Pac. Returning the favour from earlier though, Tori pulls him out of the ring. Meanwhile, Road Dogg runs into a super kick from the big man. Paul Bearer is back on the scene and grabs Tori by the hair before rolling her in the ring. Kane grabs her by the throat and aggressively throws her into the corner, where she is treated to a stink face. Big tombstone to X-Pac in the middle of the ring, and with his arms pinned to the canvas, we get the 1, 2, 3. The match is over, but we aren't done yet. Too Cool hit the ring, and they are clapping. Oh dear. It isn't just Too Cool, we also get the San Diego Chicken, who joins in with the clapping. JR and King are convinced it's Pete Rose in the same disguise from last year, but he's way too sprightly. Way too sprightly. Rikishi goes to leave, but is called back into the ring, and lines up with Too Cool and the San Diego Chicken, and all four now begin dancing. Did a part of you think Kane's going to get involved here?
A tiny little part of me, and I thought he can't because he would lose all credibility.
At this point, later on he probably could and got away with it. Kane is stood in the corner and does not stop staring at the chicken. Rikishi stares at Chicken for entirely other reasons.
Tasty.
Well, he said testy. And Albert. When the dancing stops, Kane grabs the San Diego Chicken by the throat and backs him into the corner. But wait, that isn't all. Pete Rose has entered the ring with a baseball bat, but before he can hit Kane from behind, Rikishi disarms him, allowing Kane to connect with a chokeslam. The scoreboard now reads Kane 3, Pete Rose 0.
This guy can fuck off.
With Pete Rose on the floor, Paul Bearer begins furiously crotch chopping, which is a sentence I never thought I would write.
I don't ever want to see that again either.
No, the crowd loved it.
It's so bizarre.
Kane signals to Rikishi, we know what's coming here. Stink face to Pete Rose, who did the wise thing, chin up, so my nose is going nowhere near, thank you very much. Kane shakes his head at Pete and goes to leave, but briefly returns to the ring to set his corner pyro off.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, Kane looked in fucking tidy form here, doesn't he?
His physique
Is
is phenomenal.
ridiculous.
So good.
Any feelings?
No.
Oh, fair enough.
But I mean, appreciation, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks so good. Like, even you only barely
It's
see
just
like
that
one
arm, isn't
bare
it? Yeah.
arm, and that alone
Even when he's not
is
tensing, you
ridiculous.
can just see the...
Like definition there on that tricep. Oh god, ridiculous.
Very good.
Yeah.
What do you think of the match?
Shit. I gave it a 1 though, and I put comical match for me. 1 out of 5. Probably the point is for dancing. 1 star. Okay.
Dave also gave it a 1 star. I can't disagree.
Yeah.
So I will go and
Yeah.
round off the 3 with it being 1 stars.
Yeah.
In the interview area now, we see Kevin Kelly interviewing The Rock.
God, I can't with this guy.
Kevin says this is ground zero, and it's almost time, but a hand in front of the face stops him short. The Rock listens to the fans chant Rocky before saying that after 12 months and everything he's had to go through, he can now finally say The Rock has come back to WrestleMania. The Rock says this isn't about the Triple H and Stephanie marriage, it isn't about Mick Foley's last match, and it sure as hell isn't about the Big Show. Tonight is about the WWF Championship. The Rock says he's going to go out there to lay the smack down on their candy asses, and that tonight is the night if you smell what The Rock is cooking. We go now to commentary where JR says The Rock has waited 1 whole year for WrestleMania, and I would point out, so has everybody fucking else.
Yeah.
We now see Michael Clark Duncan in the front row going mad before we head to Marty Shaw, and apparently somewhere in the crowd is Dustin Diamond too.
The guy from...
Screech.
yeah, he's right behind him.
Didn't see him.
He's literally stood right behind him. Because I literally went, oh, Screech from Saved by the Bell. That's the guy with the dirty sex tape.
Oh yeah, and the dead guy.
Well.
Lower the tone. But Holly,
Yeah.
it is now the main event of the evening.
Yeah.
Mick Foley with Linda McMahon versus Big Show with Shane McMahon versus The Rock with Vince McMahon versus Triple H with Stephanie McMahon. A McMahon in every corner, if you will.
Oh, thank you
For
clarifying.
a 4-way elimination match, not a fatal 4-way,
No.
for the WWF title.
Yes.
I assume you didn't know who walked out as the winner of this.
Of course I didn't.
Who was your money on? And I think I know the answer.
Out of all of these, you know who I would back out of all of these. Surely.
Yeah, well, Triple H. But
Absolutely.
But who did you think? You thought Triple H was going to win?
I just had to in my head.
Okay, fine.
Just had to.
So bearing in
Also,
mind...
I don't really care about... Big Show does nothing. Like, I don't see him in a match, and I'm not like, oh, okay, amazing. Mick Foley, fine. The Rock... Oh, I have so many feelings on The Rock, and I just don't... I'm just not into it
Okay.
at this point either. Also, he winds me up so much when he does his promos. It's the... I don't know if you watch Friends, but it's the Joey Tribbiani smell the fart acting. And that is all The Rock does. And I know he's made such a career out of what he does. And I'm not saying he's not good at it. It just winds me up so bad. Later down the years, I'm a big Rock fan. Here, no thank you.
See, to me, this was the part where I was the Rock fan. This
Okay.
was
Yeah, fair.
This was the best he was ever going to be for me.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I, as a kid, fully thought he was going to walk in and walk out as champions. The year before, he'd lost to Stone Cold.
Yeah.
I figured, oh, well,
Yeah.
you know, it's time.
Especially as Vince is in his corner.
And also what
Maybe.
happened with Stone Cold as well. When Stone Cold lost to Bret Hart next year at WrestleMania, he beat Shawn Michaels for the title. Thought maybe something was going to happen
Maybe.
like that for The Rock. And of course, he won the 2000 Royal Rumble, albeit under controversial circumstances.
Oh, is that one? Oh.
Yep. So there you go. First out is Mick Foley, who is headlining his first WrestleMania in what is supposed to be his final ever match. Next up is the 7-foot-tall Big Show, who offers by far the least interest in this match, other than the fact he's a massive obstacle. The People's Favourite is out next, and that is none other than the People's Champion, The Rock. It's very odd seeing Vince McMahon walking out to the ring with The Rock's music playing.
Yes, it is bizarre. However, the only thing I did take joy in seeing here is The Rock walking out. His thighs are, my God.
Good.
Oh,
yeah.
He's got that jiggle.
Yeah.
You know when you walk and
Yeah.
there's the leg jiggle from all that the muscle. Oh my
Yeah.
God, he's got impeccable thighs.
Good. Are they Randy Orton-esque?
Oh, I wouldn't say they're that good, but
Okay.
they're up there.
Fair enough.
They might be second in line maybe.
Wow, fair enough. Where do we go from here? 1, 2, is this on?
Mm-hmm.
Holly will be happy as here comes Triple H in the gear she is familiar with, and look at that, he even has a water bottle.
I was so happy. It's still not just there.
Okay.
But it's so close.
Okay.
So close.
JR asks why Stephanie has brought the Women's Championship out with her, and King says because she's proud of it. JR responds that he's proud of his Mickey Mantle memorabilia collection, but he didn't bring that out with him.
A little bit different. But okay.
Very good, JR. No, I like that. I thought that was great. The bell sounds and all four men are staring at each other before Triple H makes the first move. Foley meets him and they exchange right hands whilst The Rock lays into the Big Show. After being backed into the corner, Mick comes out flying and drops Triple H with a right hand and then pounds him into a heap against the buckles. Cactus knee follows up. Rock and Big Show continue their trade-off in the opposite corner. Big Show takes a moment to stop choking The Rock with his boot to level Triple H and Foley with a clothesline. Big headbutt to the game before he returns to level The Rock. Big body slam on Foley and Triple H is sent flying across the ring too. Rock's turn as he is military pressed high into the air and slammed back to the canvas. Same treatment for the champion. Big Show's looking good. Show with a headbutt to Foley, but Mick won't give in and climbs on the big man's back until Show falls back, just like at Mania last year,
Oh, thank you.
driving the wind out of his body.
I was going to say, we've seen that before, right?
The exact move, the exact two people, just a year apart.
Okay.
The Rock fires away on Show with right hands, but runs into a sidewalk slam. Triple H leaps off the second rope, but finds himself caught by the throat. Choke slam attempt, but Foley kicks him in the balls, inadvertently saving the game.
I've got a question.
Go for it.
Why? Why save him? If it's a 4-way elimination match, don't matter. Just leave him. And I know it's entertainment.
No,
and
I
do get it. But the logic
I've
in
got an
my
answer.
brain goes, cry off in corner. They're doing this with each other. Let him choke him out. Let him go. Bosh.
Got two answers for you.
Go for it.
One, Big Show had just fallen on Mick Foley, so fuck whatever he's doing, I'm going to hit him.
Yeah, fair.
Second thing is, who's the biggest threat in that match? If Big Show chokeslams and gets rid of Triple H, granted Triple H is gone, but then you've only got you and one other person with the Big Show. I don't like those odds.
Okay. It's fair enough. It's just, this also
I get it.
isn't the only time that I thought that.
Yes, no, I get what you're saying, but I can actually see a thread of logic there from the other side. All three men synchronise right hands to take the biggest threat off his feet. Clothesline by Triple H sways him, so does Foley's, and the Rock's finally takes him down. With Show now down, all three stomp away until Triple H and Foley start trading hands once more. Cactus clothesline takes the game and Foley to the floor as Rock throws right hands in the corner. Whip sends Rock into the buckles and he rebounds into a big boot from Show. Foley has found a chair on the outside and drives it into the midsection of the champion. As Rock hits the ropes, Shane grabs him by the ankle. With Shane-O now on the apron, Rock treats him to a right hand. On the other side of the ring, Show looks to hit the ropes, but Foley connects with a chair to the back from the floor. Rock bottom to the Big Show, hook of the leg, and we get the 1, 2, 3. Big Show is eliminated and we are down to 3. Would he have been your money on the first person to go?
Yeah, because he's the least entertaining.
I thought it might have been Foley.
Oh, really?
I remember thinking I was surprised that Foley didn't go first.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm sad that it wasn't Foley that went first, but that's what I would have thought. The remaining participants have a stare down in the ring as Show tells Vince that this ain't over and calls him a son of a bitch. JR makes a point of the odds not looking good for Triple H with the Rock and Sock connection stood before him, and he tries to broker a deal with the man he retired to eliminate the Rock. Foley is having none of it and shakes his head, so Triple H now tries to strike the same deal with the Rock. The Great One nods before smacking the shit out of Triple H, and both he and Foley stomp and choke away at the champ, which the crowd love. Back on his feet, Triple H now, were you worried for your boy?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. I could see this slowly slipping away here.
Yeah. And that was just you off your chair. Back on his feet, Triple H now finds himself punched down between his two opponents, back and forth, until a big right hand from The Rock puts him down. Double whip and clothesline before Foley throws the game to the floor. Triple H tries to fire back, but Foley drops him from behind as the double team continues. Once again, the game tries to fire back with a poke to the eye, but the whip is reversed and Rock levels him with a clothesline. Foley tosses the ring bell to The Rock and now holds Triple H in place. And I'll be honest, Holly, I saw what was coming about to happen. But the champ ducks and Foley takes the shot to the head.
Of course.
Clothesline sends Rocky down. Face first into the steel stairs goes The Rock, and he and Foley are in a heap. The champ lifts and drops Rock sternum first on the barricade, and holy shit, Mick has found the barbed wire 2x4.
Of course he has.
Triple H, in a blind panic, is begging off in the ring. Foley tries to deliver the killer blow, but the game ducks in the corner and connects with the low blow instead. Triple H with the barbed wire now and drives it into the gut of Mick Foley. The second attempt is prevented though when Rock strikes him from the side. Sidestep by the game sends Rock over the top to the floor. Double arm DDT by Foley puts the champ down, and now it's time for Mr. Socko. The mandible claw is locked in before Triple H is shoved into a belt shot by The Rock between the eyes. The Rock is now in perfect position for the people's elbow, but no, Mick slaps the mandible claw on him now. Using the opportunity, Triple H hits a low blow to both men and all three are down. Vince casually slides a chair into the ring as Rock bounces out the corner with a clothesline to the champ before being dropped by one from Foley. 2 count on The Rock. Big rights from Foley in the corner, but the whip is reversed. He does, however, connect with a double arm DDT, hook of the leg, and gets a 1, 2, no, Rock kicks out again. Foley has the chair and charges at The Rock in the corner, but he gets the boot up and the steel connects with his skull instead. Right hands and a DDT by The Rock lead to a pin that is broken up by Triple H, and as JR says on commentary, I'm not sure why.
Thank you. Yeah, 100% why. Just let it happen.
Clothesline puts The Rock down, and it looks like Foley and the champ have brokered a deal as they both stomp away on the Great One. Whip into the rope sees Triple H land a shot to the gut, but Foley knocks Rock down with a knee lift. Cover gets 2. Double team suplex and a knee drop lands by the game for another near fall. We start to get a Rocky chant now. Toss to the outside, the assault continues as Foley lands rights, and now he holds Rock in place for Triple H to land some of his own. Whip reversal sees Foley hit the steel stairs, knees first, and goes sailing over, nearly wiping out Linda McMahon in the process.
She doesn't move quick enough.
No, she doesn't. Nothing she does is well timed. The Rock fires back on the game and chokes him with a camera cable until Mick clears his clock with the steel stairs to the head. Linda and Stephanie are exchanging heated words on the outside as the three men have taken a brief pause. Spanish announce desk time as the top is lifted off and Rock is lying on top. Foley is now stood on the second rope and takes flight, and in a sad twist, he just can't make it, instead landing ribs first on the table himself, and that sounded horrendous. Triple H jumps on top of the table and lands an elbow, but it still won't give. It only gets more awkward as Triple H tries again, and it half breaks the table standing on it before going down from the guardrail and jumping with an elbow drop that breaks the announce desk with somewhat of a whimper. With The Rock seemingly out of action, Triple H and Foley are back in the ring where the champ connects with a pedigree and we get the 1, 2, no, Mick kicks out. Oh, Hebner time, baby, as the game shoves Hebner in the chest, knocking him on his arse in protest at the 2 count.
Standard.
Of course. I thought Tim White was going to be the highlight of the referee action this time.
Oh, surely not.
No, but obviously Hebner's there. Triple H has the chair and creams Foley in the face with it. He slowly pulls Foley back to his feet and pedigrees him on top of the chair, hook of the leg, and we get the 1, 2, 3. Not the way Mick Foley would have wanted to go out. He takes a moment to raise his arm as he exits the ring to a standing ovation. Hell of a career for Mr. Foley and a tough paper round at 34 years of age.
Stop it. 34?
Mm-hmm.
So he is younger than...
Both of us.
That's insane.
Yep.
Shit me.
I know. 34.
Jesus Christ.
Was one Mick Foley at that point.
Wow.
He heads back up the aisle but changes his mind and returns to the ring with a barbed wire in hand and smashes the champ in the face with it. Rock crawls back into the ring and makes the cover for the 1, 2, no, Triple H kicks out. Flurry of big right hands from The Rock puts Triple H down. He ducks a charge from the champ and clotheslines him over the top to the outside. Now the Great One is marching him up the entryway entryway where he counters a suplex attempt into one of his own. Rock sends the game into the steel scaffolding and clotheslines him as he returns. Mm-hmm. They are now in the fans, and we can see very little other than the odd punch being thrown until Rock backdrops the game over the barricade back to ringside.
I hate this shit.
I know you do.
I fucking hate it. Because what's the point? You walk up for, 10 metres, have a little tussle, we see nothing, and then you come back. I know. What is the point?
It's just, I think, to give the fans something who are there, a bit of excitement. Ugly thud on that landing as well for Triple H.
Mm.
Timekeeper's table is introduced to the champ's face, and now The Rock has the stairs held high. Triple H counters with a chair shot and then unloads with a series of them on top of the stairs on a down challenger. Jesus criminy, says JR. Next, we have Holly's least favourite moment of the night as Triple H connects with a pile driver on top of the stairs.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. And I like it. Don't do it.
The champ rolls The Rock into the ring and slowly follows to hook the leg for the 1, 2... No, his shoulder is up again. The two men trade rights. A rock bottom is elbowed free and a pedigree attempt sees Triple H gets backdropped over the top to the floor. Right hand sends Triple H over the barricade and back into the fans as they do a second tour of duty.
Stop it. Just fucking stop.
Not a great deal to be said other than punches from both men. This time it's The Rock who's tossed back over to ringside, kicking Earl Hebner on his way down.
And it's here with the hat.
Oh,
it's
okay.
There. For some unknown reason, Triple H just really is aggy about it. Just knocks it off this bloke's head.
Oh, fair enough.
No, for no reason whatsoever.
I was too busy seeing that Earl Hebner got kicked in the leg, and I was like, he's back, baby!
He should have just laid down and grabbed his leg for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't, to be fair. The champ rolls him back into the ring, but then eats a right hand from Vince and is sent face first into the ring post.
Drink.
He rolls Triple H into the ring, but is himself knocked down by the returning Shane McMahon.
Oh.
Shane-O then runs Daddy Dearest's head into a monitor on the broken announce desk before crowning him in the face with it. Steph looks stunned, and that is good acting by Steph.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Vince kind of no-sells it until he gets back to his feet, blocks a right, and then fires away with a number of his own until Shane lands a low blow. Now he has a chair and strikes Vince in the skull. I saw blood, Holly.
Yeah.
Michael Clark Duncan is giving Shane abuse, and Shane pretends to go at him with a chair, and he flinches.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the Oscars, Michael, as JR says on commentary. Pat Patterson and Jerry Briscoe come to the aid of Vince as JR oversells the amount of blood Vince is losing, which thankfully isn't much.
Yeah.
But he's saying, oh, he's losing it at the quart. No, he isn't.
No.
It's a trickle.
No.
Back in the ring, and Rock is unloading with right hands in the corner. Rock ducks a clothesline and lands a DDT for a count of 2. Hebner nearly gets mowed down on a whip, and Rock hits a modified tilt-a-whirl slam for another near fall. Facebuster by the game, and he cracks Rock with a barbed wire between the eyes. Shane slides into the ring and is looking to hit a chair shot, but on who? As Earl is telling him off, Rock counters a pedigree and catapults the champ into Shane. Rock bottom to Triple H, but both men are down. Shane is back up with a chair and waiting for the two to stir when Vince makes a heroic return, doesn't blow out his quads, and punches Shane until he goes over the top to the floor. How are you feeling about all this involvement from the McMahons?
They can piss off. I hate it. I hate it. Absolutely drives me mad. But I was quite happy that, I mean, Linda's not going to do anything anyway. She's gone now. But Stephanie, I did think, oh, she's brought her belt out. Is she going to try and get involved here? And she didn't.
No, she didn't.
I was very happy she didn't.
Now,
These two can bin off. I'm honestly livid.
Shane does
ill-fitting suits.
Yeah, Shane does well going over the top as well on the sale from his dad. I think that was good. Now Vince has the chair and aims at the game. He swings, but changes direction and hits the Rock. Shock. Triple H places a hand across for the cover, and we get the 1, 2... No, Rock kicks out. Second chair shot from Vince lands, and the game makes the cover a second time, and this time we do get the 1, 2, 3. Triple H is still the WWF champion, and the ring is showered in cups of drink in protest to the villainous actions of one Mr. McMahon. Vince hugs his daughter, and Shane rolls back into the ring, talking to his old man, so making it look like, you hit me pretty hard on that, what are you doing? And then Vince is like, well, you cracked me in the head with this. So it seems like there's something at play here.
Well, yeah, especially as Triple H has just won this, but he's very gently rolled out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
It's just... Oh, piss me off.
The Rock, who was being held back by officials, turns and sees what has happened and begins running back to the ring, where he hits a rock bottom to Shane and follows with one for the chairman. This was good, actually.
Yeah.
The Rock's face as he realises what's going on is very good.
This was fine. He wasn't
Very
smelling
good.
the fart acting either. It was like believable.
Now Rock is staring at Steph. Surely he wouldn't. Steph gets up in his face and shouts at him before slapping him. Wrong move. A third rock bottom connects. Rock looks down at Steph and teases the people's elbow. Triple H is on the apron but gets punched back down, and then The Rock does deliver the most electrifying move in sports entertainment to the $1 billion princess, who doesn't even flinch.
No, she's
out
for the count,
Yeah.
Clearly. My gosh.
Although it makes it look like the elbow shit, because you expect her to kind of do something.
She does not move at all.
Oh dear. The cameras pan around the ring and surrounding area, and all the McMahons and Triple H lying in various states of disarray. We finish with the highlights package of the night's action, where we see Ice-T again for your reference.
Yes,
And the show comes to a close. Mm-hmm. The first WrestleMania of the new millennium.
Yeah.
What did you think of this match? What did you score it?
I think I still scored, considering all the comments I've got to make, I think I still scored it quite high.
Mm-hmm.
So my first comment was that this entire section lasted 49 minutes.
Yes, it did.
That felt quite long.
It was the quickest moving part of the show, I thought.
Really?
Yep. For my notes, it was the easiest.
Gosh.
That was the easiest chunk I did.
Notes-wise,
It was
yes,
the easiest
but
chunk I did.
Time-wise, for me, it felt long.
That's funny how it can be the complete opposite for me, where it goes literally the quickest, and for you the opposite.
Yeah.
Strange.
I put obviously everyone in that match was all dressed in black, so there's no even Foley. The only colour he's
Blue.
got is the checkered shirt,
Yep.
but they're all in black.
Yep.
So just a little note there. I put not actually much wrestling for me. It was all a lot of hands, feet. Then we're just going to throw stuff at each other.
Okay, fair.
Again, similar to the too many suplexes in the one before.
You pretty much described the Attitude Era, but yeah, fair.
Yeah, just a little bit of something. What else have I put? Oh, I said I think at the time, if I was watching this at the time, I probably would have been hooked and been like, oh, it's brilliant, great way to finish the show.
Yeah, fine.
But watching it now, it does nothing for me. But I did give it a 3 out of 5. What are you smiling at? 3 stars.
You've tallied up with him again.
Wow.
Like the last
My
3
gosh.
shows, you've given 3 shows. The last 3 matches, you've tied up the scores.
Huh.
I was going to give it 3 stars as well.
Yeah.
To be honest, I thought it was good. Like you said, there wasn't actually a great deal of wrestling,
No.
but what was there flowed pretty well. I will say, I'm not a massive fan of the McMahon involvement, but it kind of is what it is. It's not
You have to make peace with it at this era, don't you?
true, but it's also not to the point of obnoxiously. Like they let them go pretty much. I would say 3/4 of the match before, apart from Shane's little involvement. You don't really see anything until pretty much the tail end, which is good. Yeah, I thought it was fine. Although as a kid, I wanted The Rock to win.
Yeah.
I was devastated. I was like, I was even thinking I'd rather anyone but Triple H have won.
really?
Yeah, seriously.
But
even
was
the
this
Big
the
Show.
era where he was being shoved down?
No.
Not yet.
No, that's 2002.
Ooh,
Yeah.
2 more to go.
Yep. What he does? Oh yeah, okay, yeah. He's on the next WrestleMania. He's on the next 2, 3. He's definitely on the next 4 at least. I don't know. He's injured at one point, but I can't remember if he misses a WrestleMania. But he's definitely on the next 4 or so.
Okay.
What did you think of the show overall, and what would you score it?
My overall rating, I had to go back and look at all of the scores. I'd then individually given each match.
Is this a new thing you're doing? Or?
Yeah, I have to, because otherwise
Okay.
I just go, oh, it's like I find that I base it a lot on the last couple of matches and tend to forget about earlier ones. So if I write them all down, then it gives me more of a
Fine.
generalised. I gave it 6.25 out of 10.
Okay.
Very specific. I just said that the matches that were bad were bad.
They were the shits.
The matches that were I had a 5-starer in there and a 4.25er. It can't be that low. And then for me, just it levelled off a little bit towards the end. So I think better than half, but the shit really was bad.
Shit.
Yeah.
I would give it 6.
Yeah.
So I will either go. I don't do quarter stars for that. I'll do it for the matches, but not the shows.
In my head though, I was like, well, 7's too high.
Fine.
But 6 to me felt a little bit too low, but not. Do you know what I mean? Just a smidge.
Yeah. So I didn't score those 2 matches that you gave a 5 and a 4 point something.
Yes.
I was a 4.5 and a 3 point something. So that's brought it down, but only to a 6.
Yeah.
I thought the flow of the show was it was well paced in terms of how they went through stuff, but a lot of the bits in there I didn't care about. And I always find it strange that when you've got a WrestleMania card and you feel like there are throwaway matches on there, that doesn't seem right. No. Like the
you've got
Godfather
big names that aren't competing because of these comedic matches that are put in there.
But like, no, so Stone Cold was injured, so that's why he wasn't there. But like, you've got even the Kane and Rikishi tag team match that felt like a thrown together last minute thing. The tag match at the beginning, the 6-person tag with China and Too Cool against the Radicals felt thrown together to me. So the only matches that had the cat fight, who cares? So the ones to me that made sense were the main event, the triple threat for the Intercontinental European, the tag team titles, and then I feel like I'm missing the hardcore match. Ridiculous.
Match
at least it had a story to it, I guess. So almost I'd score that in that group as well. But all the others to me didn't feel like it had a purpose. So I'd still give it a 6 because of the pacing of it, and there were some fun bits in there. And overall, the positives were fairly good. So I'll give it that. Yeah. We're now at your particular segment of the outfits of the night, and I didn't actually write any down for this, so I'm going to put my phone down and have a little think. Ooh. How many people are on the shortlist? Okay, so Kane.
This is the most contenders I've ever had.
Kane has to be on there.
Nope.
Wrong. The Headbangers.
Yeah, of course.
China.
Yes.
Okay, there was a few others that I thought of. Trish.
Yep.
I did actually have a couple that I thought there were going to be shoo-ins, and I've completely forgot. Oh, Too Cool.
Yep.
I don't think any of the Radicals. Eddie, you could maybe argue. I thought Eddie was looking all right, but I wouldn't put him in there. Test. Edge.
No.
Oh, Jeff Hardy.
I've combined both of them together because this was their...
Okay, fine. Is that all of them? Have I missed anyone?
Yeah, there's a couple, but I think also I was clutching...
Not Test and Albert.
No.
Not Steve Blackman.
No.
Not Al Snow. No. Not Chester McCheesyton. The Cat.
I did actually, I quite like that.
Lillian Garcia wouldn't be on there.
She is.
Is she? Fair enough. And JR. I thought his tux was actually very good.
No, so we've got obviously Lillian's in there, but I like the long dress with the mesh. It's kind of like, oh,
yeah, it's nice.
You see it, but not.
You
too
can't
much.
have it.
Not too much. Headbangers, obviously, fluffy tits. The see-through. One of them's wearing like a see-through orange top.
Yep.
It's a senses overload.
It is.
For them. It's hilarious. Trish, tiny hot pants, tiny top, massive tits, boots, cowboy hat.
Boots.
The long like waistcoat thing.
Yep.
And I've put, if I could pay for a figure, that's what it is right there, apparently. Hardy's.
And the figures I would pay.
Yeah. Hardy's, I've put, it's so basic, but it's the perfect look for them. It's the all black, the top, like the tight tops.
Jericho.
The arm things. Do you know what? Moolah gets a mention here.
Okay.
The red pantsuit that was either pleather or sequins.
Okay.
It was a bit of glam, like glam.
Fine.
The Cat, you've said. China, the leather look with the studs. I also like the trouser look because I've only seen her in those
pants.
Shorts. Yeah, 2/4 in there. The all white with the black and the hats. Brilliant. Jericho, you got it at last minute. Open sparkly silver jacket. And this is my best look for him.
Yeah, fine.
Everything works for him. So out of all of those, who do you think I put as the winners?
Well, you can't say it's the best Jeff Hardy's ever looked and not pick the Hardys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I know it's so basic, but this is his. For me, this is when I was like, oh, okay, we're in.
I'm trying to think. Well, as a kid, without question, it would have been Trish.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking at it now, who do I go with?
It's a hard one, isn't it?
It really is, actually, because there was quite a lot. Too Cool, I think, because I think that's pretty good.
So good.
China would actually now beat Trish in terms of the outfit for me, because I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously it's your segment, so you're the final decision maker on it.
Yeah, so the Hardys did win it purely because this is definitely the best that Jeff looks for me.
No, that's absolutely fine. I understand your logic, and I expected that to be the answer. Wow. So Jeff has always got a shout when he's on the show. Same as Savage and Jesse. They're the front runners right out the gate. Not
necessarily always the winner, but they'll be up there.
And we have to make a decision what we're going to pick for the next recording, which we can do off air. So no pressure there for you now. But before we do head into the sunset, and I try and think of an actual decent sign off.
Yes.
Please share the the socials with the listeners.
wintwicepod@gmail.com, and everything else is wintwicepod.
So that's your Instagram, that's your Twitter, that's your YouTube.
Yep.
I think we've kind of given up on TikTok because it's
Yes.
for children.
Oi.
But no, it's just a difficult platform that we've got so many irons in the fire. It's a bit difficult to keep on top of. But yes, you can send either via messages to Instagram, which Holly will get to and respond, whether that's a case of selecting or putting a show forth for us to potentially cover in the future, or you can email, which unfortunately you won't be getting a response from Holly, but you'll get something from me in responses.
A much better response.
That's not for me to say, but I think they'd probably rather talk to you if I'm a betting man. But that's it in terms of this week. It's been a while since we've done a sloggers. I say that the Vince one actually went.
I'm literally thinking this is about 2.5 hours, but Vince went on for like well over 3, didn't it?
No, it was 2 hours 30 something. So it's a similar time frame, and I haven't yet done the monologue for this one, which I need to do this afternoon. So it'll be a similar length. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Hope you've had a great time, and we will see you at the next one.
Bye.
Until next time, this has been a Win Twice Wrestling production. Peace out.